Kiwi, like, oh, it's kind of cute. What?
Good
What is he doing?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a very weird and sad episode of A Tale of Dice, where we will not be playing the beautiful game of Pathfinder 2nd Edition, because we are here to roast Charlie for quitting the snow. I'm just kidding.
Fuck you, Charlie.
We are here.
You know what?
You're in the
I'll
banana
take
king,
the
Charlie.
responsibility of making the statement.
No, we are here gathered on the internet to have a little bit of a group therapy session. We have like outside medicine with the softest clothings and the onesies that we could find. We have the inside medicine with illegal sort of substances for Twitch.
No, it's legal.
Well, yeah.
Alcohol is legal.
Well,
Not
we can't-
alcohol, no.
We can't like really promote that sort of stuff on Twitch.
Don't drink alcohol, guys.
Right. So it's illegal for us to be promoting it.
No,
So
it's
I think.
Oh, it's disgusting. Oh, it's also from last stream, so fuck you.
Wait, does that mean I can smoke inside? No.
You see
Wait,
that
did
up there?
someone just...
It says no.
There's something happening on the
I
screen.
have one of those.
Someone became a Pac-Man though.
Really? Oh.
Oh,
Streams up for me.
Oh, boy.
So
You guys
sweet.
made it out and how many adventures you have shared. Thank you.
Oh, so sweet.
Thank you all so much for your patronage. No, we were joking about Charlie being the culprit in this, but it is more wide carried than that. People are beginning to grow up, people are finishing their studies, and lives are changing, and schedules are getting busier and busier, and they hate me. So, with that, I'm just gonna like ride the pity train a little bit.
Wait, did you...
It's okay, you got to.
Hell yeah. But, so, what we thought that we would like to do is just have one final stream in which we can talk a little bit about the unfinished business, to see what kind of stories I had in store, but also the different kind of backstories and things that the characters wanted to flesh out, and perhaps also go over a little bit of the NPCs that Nideko put into the world. I think that would be very fun to talk about a little bit as well. And yeah, just talk it all up and have one last final cheers goodbye.
Yeah.
Reminisce.
I mean,
Yeah.
for what it's worth, you're allowed to be on the pity train. Because I think on a week-to-week basis, I was second. But you were first in effort put into organizing the stream.
I mean, that's what you get when you're the DM, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you guys can show up and play, but I actually have to plan things out beforehand.
Oh, you also...
And then watch us piss all over it. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Which is a very like weird sort of masochistic pleasure in it as well. Like I eventually found a tweet on the internet which was an answer to the question, describe playing tabletop RPGs in the worst way possible, and one of them was, I try to tell a story and a couple of people keep interrupting me.
Yeah.
I have thought out an entire campaign that starts when they take a left at the intersection. Hey guys, let's take a right. I saw a bunny.
Or we just teleport the
works.
beast on the ship and it all goes well.
That was fucking awesome.
That went
Good.
pretty okay. That's one of those moments I think where even the DM goes, okay,
Hell yeah.
you certainly try.
We were just talking about the highs and lows of
It's
Crystal
high.
playing an RPG.
the lowest, but it's definitely the high.
The high point for me, that's all
It
I'm
is
saying.
one of our...
Like a literal high point or
Yeah, that too.
linguistical confusion.
There's nothing better for me as a DM to have like my players decide what's going to happen and me being prepared for them, right? And this was like, oh cool, I still have a battle map ready for the airship. Sure, yeah, let's fight on the airship. Let's go.
Fucking go.
Yeah, that was weird shit. So yeah, we also have of course the chat open. Charlie and Crystal, I believe, and a couple of people here besides me.
Yes.
Basically everybody except me and Vincent are having the chat open. So if anybody has any
Yeah, y'all
questions or
don't
things,
really need to have it open per se. Like,
I can't read that, man.
no, I
I will read it
for
for you. Yeah.
It's a guess.
But like I
Teamwork.
can't read myself? The
But
fuck,
when
man?
we
You
trust
just said you
others-
couldn't.
I can read it when it's here! I can't read that because these glasses are
So
a
why are you
decade old.
complaining?
Because I need new glasses, ma'am. I can't afford them. If you would like to donate,
I want to have some of that.
Speaking,
Go find me. Give
Charlie Temple.
Speaking of perception checks, let's perhaps start with because the chat is always the most important. So why not start by talking a little bit about the NPCs that Nideko made for me and for all of you. Byakuas, you met all three of him.
Yeah,
them.
you made
three?
The thing that Nideko came up with, and is Nideko in the chat? I believe so, right?
I don't know.
I
He
haven't
has
seen
said
him yet, but
He
if
hasn't
you're
seen-
here,
oh, sorry.
Felix, hi!
Well, he's also in Japan right now. So,
That's true. Yeah,
yeah.
he was gonna try to make it.
So I'm
Did he
not
make
sure
that
if-
asshole monk?
He did.
Did
He,
make that
he
asshole
did.
monk.
Yeah, he
The
white
asshole
king
monk that I
man.
fought and
Yeah,
couldn't
and we
even
fought.
land a fucking blow.
it was
that one, yeah.
it was a vast backstory that he and I came up with over the course of like multiple weeks. That like every fantasy world, of course, needs a ancient civilization that's disappeared without a trace. In my world, those are called the Light Elves. And Nideko created basically one individual, which soul was split into three at the fall of Light Elf Society, who have since then been basically walking around immortal. And they were basically split up into three individuals. One, and basically like each one of them gained like 2 ability scores that they excelled at. So we had the intelligence and wisdom in Master Jack that we actually in the previous campaign already ran into. He was like the little bit autistic, like high up within the cerulean circle that eventually also asked you
Right.
to go and fetch him some soul stones.
Was that the guy we met at like the Cathenian Mercs or something? Previous campaign?
Close to them.
Yeah, right.
Right, somewhere
Or after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was Master Jack. And Master Jack had some idea that he had like 2 other parts of his soul missing, and is basically looking out for them as the intellect of the trio. He was actually like really searching for the rest of his being. Then we had Jacqueline, the badass asshole monk, who had like the strength and dexterity, who basically really didn't care as much and was just walking around and hitting shit.
Being glorious and awesome.
Being glorious.
Dick.
And then we had Jacqueline, the White Sage, which you had some small tidbits of it, who had like the charismatic goodness in them, and was basically scouring the lands, creating friends of the White Sage that then became like this sort of like hero of the common folk. Yeah. So yeah.
We saw a painting of the White Sage at the lake house, right?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you had like this last guy that you found when you were hunting the owlbears. Also
Yeah.
was a friend of the White Sage because he had like the embroidery and stuff, and he also
The hermit
Yeah.
turret who was amazing and I love him so much.
Yeah.
Did Nideko make up the White Sage?
Yeah, Nideko came basically with a little bit of questioning from me, and of course like telling him like how the world works and stuff. But that's all him.
Hey Nideko, if you have like Word documents or something somewhere with like the whole backstory of these people, like
We do. We had like a big Google Doc, which eventually turned out into like something like 12 pages or something,
Oh.
with both
Nice.
like abilities and stuff, because we also went deep on the whole like, yo, Master Jack is looking for the rest of his soul. Let's create a little bit of soul magic. Like what
Yeah.
kind of things would that entail and stuff. So yeah, some good shit.
And
I mean
would-
that's 4 pages per person, so I still win.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So what would happen if they had come together, like, oh, let's
pages
just
of
join up and
backstory.
become one full perfect being? Or?
I don't know. I don't like think about those sorts of things. That would have, that would also have really mattered how you guys would have handled with it,
Kill them.
for example.
What,
But,
Jack?
All of them.
No. I would have maybe killed the monk just to see if I could.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would have been like a
Yeah.
duo vendetta
Team
thing. Like
effort,
let's
yeah.
fuck this guy up.
You flag, I kill.
The white sage
No, but
edge would
who's
have
gonna
been.
tank him while the other kills him though?
Yeah.
I'm tanking while he, with his big fucking heavy armor, is in the back somewhere shooting arrows.
Medium arrow.
Medium.
And bolts. I'm shooting bolts.
It's not even
Semantics. Potato, tomato. You were in the back while you kept saying, "I'm the tank. I'm the tank."
To be fair, I only fired bolts like once or twice in the entire campaign, so yeah. To great effect, though.
Yeah. But I was still tanking all the damage and the campaign, so.
Yeah. And falling. Dying.
Yeah, because I was taking all the fucking damage from all the fucking enemies.
All the damage.
Lots of it.
No,
But I have to say, I'm even better than being the tank. I'm a tank maker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I produce things on a daily basis.
So could Tarouche, but he don't give no shit.
Oh yeah.
Tarouche only buffs himself.
Yeah.
Hey, I saved you on I think 2 occasions during combat, at least 2 different occasions. I remember distinctly one during a fight in the sewer with the scum,
Yeah.
where Tarouche saved.
Yeah, you
Yo,
poured a healing potion down my throat because I was tanking all the damage.
did I throw that one at you? The black potion you used?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I helped.
Oh,
Pizza! We will be back just after these messages.
I do believe that Terrence was the one who got the closest to dying because he was actually
Multiple times
down and held down by the big bad guy ready to be killed.
I also almost killed him a couple times.
Yeah, on these later levels, we really saw that Charlie didn't put a lot of points into Constitution because like his hit point total was abysmal. In the end, he was I think almost half of the rest of you.
True.
Like in his
He was
20s.
like
Yeah, like 28,
he
yeah.
was like I think
Oh,
like
fuck.
like low 30s. While you
What
were
was
in
your
the 60s.
what was your hit point total, Tarouche?
On the last.
lowest of the party.
Yeah, no, like I was somewhere in my 60s, I think.
Yeah, you guys were all like in 60
Oh, it's
something,
58
50 something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, we were pretty much
For me?
the same for most of the campaign.
like Tarouche's level was his amount of hit.
Excuse me, guys, just so you know, I'm drinking beer. I'm gonna be belching a lot, so if you can't handle that,
That's fine.
find a different stream.
Merciful. We're gonna so that we can see you guys a little bit better. Otherwise, we're just talking to the side.
Charlie, speaking of, can you also fetch me a drink?
Yeah, of course.
Twink.
Wink.
There's also there's one on the table.
Thank
No,
you.
there's one on the table.
I will go with
this is
a small beer beverage, I believe.
Yes.
Beverage.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So guys, those were at least like the NPCs of Nideco. Were there any big things that you guys
Yes.
wish to explore with your characters?
Yes. Damn it, what's his name?
Whose
Like the
name?
one that gave us the
The what?
Nito?
yeah, Nito.
Needle.
I
Nito.
need to know.
You forgot Nito's name?
All votes
I
for
need
by
to
we
know
drink
him.
when the DM
Sorry?
says Nito shirt.
I just need to know him because I want to know if Olam eventually got clues from him.
Nope. Nito will be coming back in other campaigns. Nito remains a mystery. That is his charm.
Well, let Bauta
As
talk.
one-
Let Bauta talk.
As one of the creators
I
of Nito, I have decreed.
Well, I think that this is more democratic.
I have to give it to them. Ave helped create Nido, so
Yeah.
if they say
Yeah, no.
that Nido,
I
like
kind of
they
feel
have,
like Abe
the whole-
lost their power about that when they got
No,
the
no,
clues.
but
No.
shut up.
Nah,
I
you're not a fan
auditioned.
anymore.
I auditioned and you chose me.
Well, you.
They chose us.
But the whole charm of Nito also when we created him was that
But I
like,
just need to
the
know.
first impression that everybody has is like, who the fuck is this guy? Oh, he's kind of awesome. Oh, fuck, he's really fucking awesome. Is this dude a god? And then he poops out. That's Nito.
I mean, he's basically Rick from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
From the viewpoint of the people he crashes. Yeah. Yeah.
I like him.
I do too.
And less meta, but a lot more setting or just a setting aware. You know, genre savvy. he knew exactly everything about the rules of the universe that he lived in, to the point really where only the DM was the other person that knows that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
neither
it was Deadpool.
No, Deadpool's meta and fourth wall breaking. More like.
But he doesn't know the bad guy's plans just because
No.
we can see that
No, but like
through the fourth wall.
I think that's a good way to put it, Charlie. Like Nito had a very high vantage point of the universe. Like he understood a lot. Indeed.
And
Yeah.
his pockets were bigger on the inside. And Bert, have you looked up the acronym for Bert?
No, what was it? I don't know anymore.
I don't know anymore either. Where's Rutger when you need him? You know what? I'm gonna text him. He might be looking at his phone.
We can also like
So
decree
good.
that every time it is still an acronym, but every time it's a different acronym.
Yeah, that works.
Be a thing. Hell yeah.
Mm-mm.
But yeah. So you guys want to talk about your characters a little bit?
Yeah.
Like I have a whole campaign that I can scrooge out over the course of like 15 hours.
I think it's smart to start with either Crystal or 8, because we are all eating.
I guess.
I don't know about you.
Yeah, that's very sexy.
Yeah. Sorry, the next building, so I meet inside of him, so...
I'm called out.
Sorry, I completely missed that, but I heard meat and inside of him. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
you can start 8. You take the floor.
Oh, why am I taking the floor? I'm texting somebody.
Well,
What? I can't.
Because I made the choice.
Okay. Well, I have lots of plans for Edge.
Mm-hmm.
Edge was very secretive about their background.
So
for
many
good
people to
reason.
fuck.
So many people to fuck over and possibly kill. I sent about 5 pages of backstory to the DM because once I started, I could not stop. Technically, it was like 4 pages of backstory and then 2.5 pages of other people's backstory that were deeply entwined with Edge, just to kind of get the layers. One was my biological father, who I might as well just go out and say it because I'm not gonna be playing Edge again. Edge is half drow,
Oh.
and Edge's mother is. I'm just gonna check with you that I pronounce it correctly. Zoriel?
Yeah, Zariel.
Zoriel. The
Wait, do we?
Archduke of
Avernus.
Avernus. So like one of the very, very high up devils.
Yeah.
Oh.
She was basically a fallen angel, who in the war between good and evil was like, you bitches are playing this way too nice, watch this, fell from the sky and then started killing demons from the inside out, basically.
I love the character of Zariel because it has like she's quote unquote evil, but it's not like muhaha I fell from grace. No. This was a conscious decision. Like Zariel was an angel of the heavens and just stood there like, working by the rules of the heavens is going to fuck over the entire universe. I'm going to the front line. I will sacrifice myself and I will die on the front line against demonkind on the side of the devils.
Damn,
Yeah, some good shit.
that's cool.
That's some good lore.
That's my mama.
No.
Do
they know?
But yes and no. Okay, so basically my mama seduced my father, my biological father, and he thought for a while that it was a fever dream because she kept appearing to him in dreams. But on the 7th night, which was under a full moon, Edge was conceived, and then like a year later, a tiny little albino tiefling is dropped on his windowsill with a note saying, "Behold our glorious offspring." That was just one of the things that I wanted to say, like from my mother's perspective, because I knew that like in the world, Edge would be looked upon as really weird and an outcast as an albino tiefling, just as a tiefling in general, and then also an albino. So I wanted just this something of the mother being like, yes, I birthed this and I have like 1 million of these, but it's glorious because everything I make is glorious. And that the father was basically charged with making sure that this one made it into adulthood. The father was not so happy with that because he was a very, very, very rich merchant from a very, very, very old family, and was incredibly ashamed about the fact that he had actually lain with a devil, not demon.
I
So,
have a question. because as a small segue, I hope we never really got into drow in this setting.
No, that was way up north.
Yeah, these were like the drow that you guys had in the previous campaign. These are like the group of drow that were part of the empire that came above ground and settled within the province of Fellover above ground, like in their swamp capital of Bremgrist.
But still
Where-
very
yeah.
much believe in slavery and shit, and that
Yeah.
they're better than other.
Yeah, we had like
People.
we had like a whole slavery subplot there with the Maddox
Yeah.
Mm.
in that place. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, dude's totally ashamed. His official wife died in childbirth, not very long before Edge was dropped on the windowsill, so he just kind of pretended that was the child and the mother didn't make it. And gave Edge a female name and raised them as a girl. Silithil Unathinagel, if you had paid attention to the name that Edge gave at the Lord's Banquet.
Which
That
I
was
did.
their official full name.
Okay.
Completely. Yeah. If
Were
he had
they-
paid attention, he might have known.
Were they also raised as a lady?
By the
Yeah.
by,
So the whole covering the horns with the
Yeah.
hair was one of the tricks that Edge learned to hide their horns and their tail because the father was so ashamed, to the point where he would file the horns until they bled, and taught her to do the same thing. But she kept growing them out a little bit and then filing them back, and growing out and filing them back.
I totally missed the name thing at the banquet.
Yeah.
Totally.
No, 'cause
I
you were
thought you just
totally
made it up.
busy with Tarouche being Tarouche.
and by the by, you pronouncing your real name there would begin a whisper that eventually would get back to your biological father.
Mm.
Which
Would
was
it-
something that I
yeah.
was planning
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
Which is something that I'm getting to it. I'm so happy with Edge's backstory, and I really put a lot of thought and heart into it. So, you know, Edge is like their mother. They're not just gonna be a meek little girl and do what they're told, so they keep fighting their father and teachers every step of the way, to the point where the father starts giving her lashes,
Mm.
to the point where their back is a complete mess, which is
Speak up a bit.
yeah, their back is covered in scars from whiplashes that the father gave them to basically force them into submission,
Mm.
which worked for a while. Which is also something that I had been whispering with the DM about, that the next time Olam and Edge were in a bathtub, to have you do a perception check to see if you would notice
Yeah, I was
The
wondering about that because I've
amount
seen
of
your
scar. that. And also I asked
Well, didn't we?
I asked the DM for like a list of jail names between Fellovar and where we were, so I could just make up stories like, yeah, I did a turn in that one, or yeah, you know, I got thrown in that one for a couple of
As a
years. They don't take too
Rocky,
kindly on albinos there, you know. So yeah, that worked for a while until her 50th birthday, which also coincided with a full moon.
How old is Edge?
Edge is very old already.
Um,
Edge is around 160.
Think so?
Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that birthday, which also happened to coincide with a full moon, they had a vision in their dream of their mother, a fallen angel with burning wings and a white halo on top of her head, reaching out a hand and saying, "My child." So Edge wakes up, kind of like feverish, still half dreaming, goes to her father's office, and just starts rummaging through his things. There was a letter that was left with Edge to be given to her upon her 50th birthday, or their 50th birthday. But the father destroyed that letter because he wanted no trace of Edge ever finding out who they really were. But he did keep the letter that was addressed to him, because that letter did state that if Edge did make it into adulthood, that he would be rewarded for his efforts. Being a noble merchant, you know, trying to keep the black on white thing is like, hey, they're an adult, where's my reward? You know, especially with devils and demons, contracts and pacts are kind of like a holy thing. So Edge finds that and is more furious than they've ever been in their entire life. And that's when their magic started kicking in, the lightning magic. and in a fit of rage, severs their father's finger with a letter opener. Takes off the ring that was on the finger. Has kept it with them all this
That's your
time,
obsession with
secretly. Not just rings, but that is the family ring of the Nario family. If not just to be sold for some money to survive, for food, drinks, whatever, it could provide a way in a door somewhere, because it is a royal seal, sort of. A very rich family. And then left. And then almost died because was raised as a noble woman and does not know how to survive in the wilderness, and ends up being found by the last monk of a monastery of Avandra, Agis Ilbelis, which is the last name that she took. This man, this monastery's been there for hundreds of years, but because it was in that particular part of the world, the monks pretty quickly realized that they had to be able to defend themselves to be able to keep building the monastery and keep teaching their way of life. So they became fighting monks of the monastery of Avandra, also known as the Lost, because Avandra watches over all those who wander. We had so much fun building this, I remember.
So when like some follower of Avandra meets another follower, they can say things like, so, oh hey, where are you from? Oh, nowhere, I'm just lost. And then they know, like, okay, cool.
Or like something that happened at the lake house that I didn't fully understand that Wouter was hinting at when Zorel was like, so are you lost?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm home. Oh, no, wait, rewind.
Fuck, it's the
I am
thing.
lost and I am found, because that is like a thing that the followers of Evandra say to each other. So, you know, this man, Agis, has been training monks his whole life. He's a couple hundred years old. He's started to get the crescents in his eyes, which among the elves mean that they're about to die, or
They
at
will be
least
dead.
have begun the process of dying. And he finds this tiefling woman with half horns, almost dead, and decides to take him in. To just, like, you know.
Wait, but Edge doesn't like elves.
Edge has a very good reason for distrusting elves, especially drow.
That's fair.
Because, you know, they were tortured by their father and they had slavery, and that's one of the things that Avandra's not really a big fan of, you know? Like, free love, whatever, man, peace. So yeah, this monk spends his literal last days teaching Edge everything that he knows. Edge finds themselves there, chooses their name. Edge is actually short for Hedgkarath, which is a devil name that I found on fantasynamegenerator.org. I was like, oh yeah, no, I can like bastardize that into like an English word, which is the name that their mother gave them, which he got from the letter to their father. But from that monastery on, accepts their non-binary identity, starts going by they them, and before leaving, lays her adoptive father to rest. Like, he's done, he's dying. They sit with him until he dies. They lock the door to the room, and they've held on to that key as well. It's on a chain around their neck, which is also a point of, like, if Wouter makes me go back to that monastery and open up that door and he's gone, or the door is open and he's gone, like, Edge is gonna fuck some shit up. Edge is gonna ruin that whole fucking monastery. They are gonna explode and go full devil. So
and
yeah,
Tarush
after...
gets beaten up again.
This is the way of the world.
I was wondering, besides the fact that Tarush is sometimes a terrible being, is Edge's clash with Tarush also because Tarush is a nobleman?
100%. Yeah, Edge is very distrustful of people with money who have not known not having money. People who don't really know the worth of a gold coin. People who look down on others because they have less. That's one of the reasons why I wanted Edge to have a homeless network. It's because, you know, they're all peoples, they're all wanderers. In the teachings of Avandra, they would all be her children. Because
It's very ironic because, as I hear it, Edge's and Tarush's backstory are not all that different.
Yeah, no, like I think we were joking because you know, like the Asmar devil things, like I remember sending you a gif of like Kaiser Cusco, Burr's New Groove, with like the angel and the devil, like, no, he's got a point.
Yeah.
Where it's like we would be like behind Olam at a certain point, and you'd be like, nah man, do the good thing, and Edge would be like, I don't know, maybe knock him out, and then Olam would like, I don't want to hurt them, and Tarush would be like, no, they have a point. And maybe ending up in bed together because why the fuck not? Like, why not make that
Well,
whole?
Let's bring it to Tarush then for a moment. Care to tell a little bit about yourself, Charlie? I mean,
Yeah.
of course you do.
Explain yourself. What have you done?
Absolutely. I don't have the names on hand. Perhaps actually I do have my little thing open here so I can quickly grab it. But yeah, Tarush, he was the scion of two big noble houses in the capital. Here we go.
Yeah,
the
so you
capital
need a
of the
mommy and a daddy.
Yeah, but I just
And
thought
together
his
they
mommy
make
was
babies.
Like, no one. And
Sorry, what was your question?
I
Two big
Oh.
noble families, two
Yeah.
families.
You know, incest and like big families is a thing.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Habsburg
No, but, like,
Germany is like yeah.
If you like marriage can be a very easy way to bind two powerful houses to get an even
That's
better
true as well.
situation.
Yeah, and
Did
and
we
the-
learn nothing from Clash of Kings, or what was it that you played? Conquest?
Crusading Kings.
Oh yeah, but I just
Crusader
Crusader
Kings.
Kings. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Tarush-
don't marry them for love. Marry them for their land.
And Tarush wanted to be adopted during this campaign.
Oh right. When Vincent made that really horrible "Call Me Maybe" reference, it's like, hey, I just met you and killed your baby. But here's my question: adopt me, maybe?
That was actually.
Yeah, because that's another way to inherit more.
You're like, hey, I'm 18. Your son's 18.
No, it's more
It's
like
just a name
your
of paper.
house is gonna end if you die.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it for your house.
They could never
I
make more
looked at your
babies.
wife and she ain't fertile no more. And we just killed your child, so you know what's gonna happen to the family land? Might as well go to
You
the
did.
cool guy.
You did make the DM go, whoa, for a
Yeah,
while.
but like
always
3 seconds after the dude died. Like, Edge is still dealing with the fact that we were almost murdered in our sleep and what that means in trust between host and guest. But you were like, so, you adopted me or what? Because, like, you got money, I got money, I feel like this would be a good thing.
You know that fucking meme from Matthew McConaughey, like staring while he's taking like a cigarette.
Yeah.
Like he was just- But I think that's also a big point of his character, his complete detachment from what we consider regular social behavior. Like politeness, intrigue, and politics was his thing. And politeness was reserved for people of equal status. He was born better.
And let's
Well, you
not.
were polite to allow.
No, you were not. No, you were not.
Not it's noble people are better. It's in a book. Go to the
Edge
library.
was
read
born
it.
in the same fucking status.
So, and
Do your own
also,
research.
let's not gloss over something. Like the first thing you said when you started pitching me Tarush was like, Wouter, I want to play an evil character.
Yeah.
Tarush was evil.
No
Tarush
wonder I didn't
was
fucking like you.
100% evil.
Wait, but you were.
So was Edge. We might get into that later. Continue.
So okay. So to go down. So he was born to Nadia Stan Silvas, his dad, and married in Durglade, his mom. Both very influential ancient houses, rising back to the original lords that supported the first emperor in
Yeah.
conquering the rest of the continent.
So to give a little bit of context, Charlie came to me like, yo, I wanted to be from a very, very pristine house. And the entire empire was built on a couple of key factors, one of which is that they had a monopoly on all monetary things, like all coins and stuff. They can only be, what's the term, like made in the empire by way of a very particular, like, sort of magical enchantment that is put on every coin so that they can be counterfeited. His house is one of the houses that came up with that whole idea, and his house is one of like 3 or 4 houses that know the secret to coins.
Ah,
Yeah, so actually,
okay.
the concept was Don Silvas, being his surname, and the idea being that the word silver was derived from his surname in our common tongue, and because they kind of came up with the whole concept of using that to trade together with a bunch of other lords. They both families had powerful sorcerers. And the idea was their marriage was not only meant to unite 2
I'm
houses.
sorry, why is there a make Crystal hungry button and not a feed us button?
Because
We are already being fed.
Yeah, but why is
feeding
there a
ourselves.
make Crystal hungry?
Well,
You
we
are
still have that.
so mean!
We still have that from a
You
long
are
time ago,
so
and I was like,
mean.
I have to turn that on.
I'm still kind of angry that we never did the feeding frenzy.
Yeah.
But they're looking at me like.
Technically, Vincent was the one in charge of the llama.
Okay, then I'll look at you.
What are we doing right now?
Yeah, no, but
So many snakes right
it
now.
looks like it was an idea I had that instead of paying 250 each, you could just spend like 1,000 points to feed all of us. Sorry.
I'm gonna get him some snacks.
Yeah, you get yourself some snacks.
Sneak, sneak. Wait, are
Oh, yeah,
Olives.
I like olives.
Ugh.
I requested those specifically.
Yeah. I listen. I just hate olives. Anyway, so there were 2.
It's okay. You won't see him again after
What's
today.
wrong with him?
Yeah.
No.
I like the garlic.
No,
part.
this is,
see
this,
when
is
he
actually,
So eat the
this is actually good. This is called olive pairing. I have this with my girlfriend as well.
It's from
Yeah.
How I Met Your
One,
Mother.
yeah, one
but
likes
it's
olives, the
there
other
as well.
doesn't. My girlfriend doesn't like olives. I do, so I can.
Jonathan and I both love olives, so we have a lot of
Well,
olives.
if she likes olives, then I share. And I probably give the last one to her.
Anyway,
That's
so
why I love her.
So the idea was they wanted to produce not only a member who could a new child, a prodigy who could ascend to a higher echelon of nobility, but also a powerful magic user. Turned out he had no talent. He was a terrible sorcerer.
Price.
He was, as it turned out, very intelligent and he understood the fundamentals, but he had very little talent of himself, which is why he's a wizard and not a sorcerer. He had to learn and struggle every little bit of the way, in some futile attempt to still gain his parents' approval, while in fact the fact that he had to learn for it already put him in the black book forever. He was never going to gain that approval. In the meantime,
No, I feel bad for picking on it.
And almost.
No, actually, not really, because if Edge and Tarush had just gotten drunk one evening and put all of that bullshit on the table, Edge would have been like, "Fuck your family, man. Let's set them on fire. Let's do this,
well,
bro."
that was also the plan. So,
I also very much wanted to get drunk with Tarush and work our shit out.
so the thing was also Tarush barely had any family left. Over the course of his upbringing, intrigue continued, and his father and mother, in bouts of paranoia, they didn't like each other, they hated each other, but they were a good team. So in bouts of intrigue and paranoia, they basically eradicated the rest of their noble houses. His mother's side was already growing smaller. They had been assassinated, murdered,
By him.
or imprisoned under false pretenses because of his mom and dad. And on his father's side, the family was already kind of small, and his father did many things to secure his own inheritance.
Do you guys hear the Game of Thrones theme? I think the truck has landed already. I think it's good now.
You can't say this in a room full of ADHD and expect us not to sing the fucking song, Bowser.
Okay, so what happened though was he still had his uncle,
guys.
and his uncle was always jealous of Tarush's father's inheritance. But his uncle was also Tarush's direct boss in the Cerulean Circle, and his dad, in some bout of naivete, had said to his uncle, like, "Hey, could you mentor my son? Could you teach him?" And his uncle was actually sending, like, very joyful, promising reports
He feels
about
like
Baruch to
Scar.
his dad.
Yeah,
Feels like
Uncle
Scar.
Uncle feels like secret daddy.
Oh, I don't
Wait,
think
no,
no,
I was like
it wasn't the
Scar
intention here. No, the uncle was just a bitter, angry man who bullied Tarush constantly.
Oh, we would have gotten such good revenge together. We
Oh,
could
yeah.
have killed your uncle, and we
But
could have killed
Tarush's
my
plan was to murder
father.
his uncle, murder his parents, gain all inheritance, work his way up to emperor, and burn down the land.
How much in line were you for Emperor?
I think number was like
34 or something?
no, it was 80
further,
something.
Further.
Let me check. I'd have to look at. I think it was like
I see at
84.
least 2 full
So,
pages. I'm
every-
happy. I want to read this.
83
Can
people
we
had to
put
die.
this in the Dropbox?
83
Yeah,
people
put
had
it
to
on the
die
Discord.
then.
Yeah.
Like we,
Not a problem. Actually, my whole suggestion, had I just quit and you all would have gone on, my suggestion really to Wouter would have been like, this guy is a future villain who's going to start a civil war.
Oh damn.
Like Tarush's whole plan, like it was, he had interesting character development because
Welcome to my
at
world.
every point throughout the campaign, I was constantly thinking, how can I backstab in the most extravagant, worthwhile manner the entire party? And it was interesting because Tarush did mellow out, and he's not evil for the sake of it. He has a conscience that he tries to push away as much as possible. So the idea wasn't I'm just looking for ways to fuck up the party.
Like
It
evil-
was more like
Evil doesn't mean you're a monster.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah, he was just like he's absolutely in it in the end game to rule the universe as much as he can, but he's 20 something and he's going to be able to end up probably with his heritage to be 150 or older if we get magic involved. So he knew he had the time, and he knew there was very little practical reason not to join forces with you all. He enjoyed it. He enjoyed, for the first time, having some form of trust and camaraderie. Because in
I
this
love how
little
you
circle-
skipped my face when you said that. Like you went to these two, skip those two.
Nah,
Oh yeah, no. Likewise, like Edge would trust Tarush as far as they could throw him.
Vincent, thank you. Wouter, thank you. Hey.
No, just not acknowledge him. Just going like, thank you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you.
But also his ASMR heritage was, I left that pretty open. The idea was that every once in a while it would just manifest in the Don Silva's family. They wouldn't really know, but it would always be, it was like a prophecy. Whenever someone was born like that, with that heritage, he would bring the house back into greatness or elevate it further than it already was. Like it was a prophecy, and he was like the first in many generations that was born with it, and and his parents hated it because they didn't get it. He's magical. He doesn't know his magic, but he's born with this, and they kind of
Cruel joke.
yeah, exactly.
So if Edge and Tarush had had a baby,
That was something that I was thinking about, like a half devil with someone with devilish blood mixing with someone with angelic blood.
would that just be like a regular human? Like
No,
if both of us had sex, it's just like a regular fucking human comes
Nah,
out.
it would be like-
"Ah, now we know what's in between good and evil.
It would be just an abomination. It would be
Kill me. That, or it would have been like a beautiful olive-skinned person with white horns,
Or
being
it would
absolutely fucking
Or it would be a
gorgeous.
god.
No,
Like, literally a god.
he would be born as a 40-year-old accountant named.
Yeah.
an emotional
True neutral.
an emotional vampire.
I've started watching What We Do in the Shadows, by the way, and it's amazing. I hate that the dude that's also in the IT crowd constantly says bat. He doesn't have to say it.
Did that?
Yeah.
Did that? It was also his name's Matt Berry, and it means he likes you.
I'm not that far in yet. It's just like I watched like 3 episodes, and every time he's the only one who says it. He probably doesn't need to say it.
Now, what I love about Matt Berry as well is that he sometimes say random words very differently. That at a certain point he's talking about
Like creepy paper.
he's talking about ice at a motel, and all the ice is here is gratis.
That is how they used to pronounce it, though. It's
That's how
from
we
French.
pronounce
It's from Latin.
I love the creepy paper bit.
Your
Yeah.
creepy paper. It's crap. It's creepy. It's creepy paper. But let's continue with the stream.
Yes, that's either way, he was always gonna. If the opportunity for power had to be a choice compared to the well-being of the party, we've always gone for power in the long run.
What are you doing? What do I do? What do I do?
No,
Okay.
You're leaning back.
You good? Lean back.
No, but there's lights and there's a glass of
or
fluid
the-
behind me, and somebody just went.
No, nothing.
Okay. Well, my heart
Good.
is here right now, so.
You're good. You're gonna die.
We're all gonna die.
I told you it was a bad idea. I told you.
We're all in the process of dying.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. It's fine.
What else is? I don't think there's really much else to tell about Tarush in that sense.
Like you.
Would
wound up-
it really, like, all it would have taken for Tarush and Edge to get along, would it have been a night of just drinking together and get absolutely drunk and just...
Probably.
I believe that is the
No,
case for like 90% of the entire
That's
population.
fair.
So
I-
That's fair. Like, we probably would have gotten drunk, bitched about our families, realized we have a lot in common, fucked, wake up in the same bed, forget that we had sex, be all weird about it for a couple weeks,
And then
Yeah.
No, but I think
So,
this, I think
and then
it
just
sounds
fuck
really-
on a regular basis.
It
So
sounds
for
really close
Fidelity and
by,
Putin, you
but
know
I
what
still
to
think
do.
it wouldn't really happen because for both characters, it would require honesty. And both characters are not honest. You both
Yeah,
really
guys,
Edge
twist
was
and turn.
always honest, you guys.
secretive.
Edge never once lied.
Oh,
They omitted a lot, but they never once lied.
No, but that's
Well-
but still not. You wouldn't spill the beans.
lying and being
The beans would
deceptive
still be
or-
intense.
One fun thing actually to say is Tarush's views on the other party members. You were the biggest threat.
What?
Like he was
Good guy.
he was perceptive.
Mm-hmm.
He saw often he questioned some of the bullshit very accurately, where I was like, oh shit, he's onto my plan. Like he hated Edge the most, but like aside from just physical violence, he didn't see Edge as a threat to Gradner plans. You know? But
Also,
So if you had to
When-
poison someone, it would have been me.
when Edge was all done up, you did act out a little bit of like where you were surprised that I cleaned up so well.
yeah, absolutely.
That was also one of those hints that I was throwing at you that I was actually from a noble family because I knew all the etiquette, I knew how to dress, I knew how to do my hair, I knew how to do my makeup, I knew how to carry a conversation.
Tarush just assumed you were a con man.
Yeah, Tarush also just kept talking about his fucking self when Edge said many, many times, "Leave the boy to me."
Yeah, but that was just fun.
Yeah,
Leave
yeah, it was just
the,
fun.
leave the envy to me, by the way. But anyway.
That's fair. Yeah, Vermilion was an MB. Yeah, leave the child to me is,
Yeah,
is what I said a couple times. Leave Vermilion to me is what I said at least once.
He saw Olam as a powerful tool to manipulate.
Yeah, you were already doing that
Yeah.
because you were playing me.
Yeah.
Because you were talking to me about being an ASMR.
Yeah.
And you told me not to tell the others.
Specifically me.
Yeah.
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 Tarush saw Olam
You
as a very dumb but powerful creature to manipulate for his own ends.
Dumb.
I'm sorry, real quick, in between.
Yeah.
People are saying, like, can we have, like, fun things to spend our Lima points on?
Oh yeah, what are we thinking?
I don't know, just to, like, feed me, and then maybe we can do
Questions.
some...
We can do llama questions.
No.
No?
They're not to ask questions anyway.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you
but
can
then they-
spend.
Maybe do,
No,
like,
no, don't look at me like I'm supposed to solve this.
do a wild search, but one that can be completed multiple times. and then we're just gonna roll it and see what comes out of
We'll
it.
see. We'll see what happens.
We might
We'll
act
see what
like
happens.
dogs for 30 seconds. Who knows?
We'll see what happens.
What's a fireball? Do we just set a blaze
And finally, Jack, by the way, because you were scary, you were dangerous,
And
you
annoying.
were manipulable. I
Dares or dances or something stupid.
don't. Jack, you were a somewhat unknown factor, but very much a potential ally. Because Tarush, like, you were confusing. You, and I don't know if this was intentional or
Yeah, no,
just
like,
Maxine being
Study
Maxine.
buddies go villain couple. It happens all the time.
Yeah, but the
Not
thing
only
was his
confusing,
morality,
Jack was just confused.
his ethical boundaries were constantly shifting. Sometimes I would be like, "Oh, Jack has no conscience. Jack is so gonna be my evil buddy." And then suddenly, 2 sessions later, Jack would be like, "Oh no, I don't think we should kill this person." And Tarush would be like, "What? What, Jack? Be consistent about our murder."
Did kill a lot of people in times where we said like maybe no killing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like-
true.
Yeah, that's
Talking about
Like when we were stealing a ship.
good bit.
well, talking
Mission
about
briefing.
talking about like Tarush being evil, like the Lyra was like the perfect moment where she aided you and she was like laying her cards out at the table, not because she was a good person, but just because that was the best course of action for her. She was a manipulator as well. But and then like Tarush just turned towards all of you and so like, okay, we should betray her and kill her, right? We are going to betray and kill her. And you were guys like, no, that's a little bit harsh.
Edge was on board. Edge was on board because the bitch was an elf.
But that's pretty evil. So like of course we should betray her and murder her, right? Like that's what we do now. That is our next step. And then the rest of you were like, no, I think that's a little bit harsh. A little bit.
Except for Edge, who was like, yeah, let's go fucking kill somebody. Which is, Edge
Yeah.
started out as an NPC when I was still a viewer and not a player.
Yeah.
And then we made them so awesome that I kept
That you couldn't let go
begging
anymore.
Bowser to give me a guest appearance to play Edge. But one of the main things for Edge as an NPC was also like, will 100% double cross you when first given the chance. Like, would have probably been an NPC that helps you out in a mission or whatever. No, this was for the previous campaign. But it would have been Hannah. But I also may have maybe made Edge racist against elves because of a certain character that I didn't want to give any freedom to talk more than he needed to. But yeah, mostly Edge just thinks that elves think they're so amazing just because they've lived a couple extra centuries, but you know, humans are just as amazing. The things they do with their short lifespan on Earth is incredible and creative, etc. And that also kind of stems from the whole, like, I might be from a noble family, or a rich family, but that doesn't mean anything.
Dude, Edge needed to go to Erialin. Erialin is like the big capital city of wood elves, and like elves are all about like mostly like the wood elves and that sort of stuff about freedom, right? Like the lore of like the Forgotten Realms D&D, which I basically just took as a template because people know it a lot, is that elves were like the most literal fluid creatures, like they could shapeshift normally until they were basically. They were betraying their god Corellon and then got trapped into their form. So they really try to like be fluid and once again. So when you get to their capital, you have a couple of gigantic trees that make up this city because of course wood elves. But you have one
Like
tree.
in Avatar?
The
The blue one.
no, like the like World of Warcraft world trees, you know, like those sorts of things.
We don't talk about the blue avatar 8.
But so one of those because freedom is very important, they also love to party.
Bitch!
So you have
Free love!
So
Sex
you have-
everywhere.
so you have within their capital you have the revelry, which is a holy party that is being kept going for the last couple of 100 years.
Religious sanctioned orgies?
Like
I'm sorry, why did you not start the story there?
free sex, there are like multiple terraces that eventually culminate into like the big center where there is like one religious cleric that is just dancing and sweating his balls off the entire time and like gets relieved after a couple of hours to like keep the party going indefinitely. And there is like orgies,
Fucking
a huge amount
Edgewood-
of drugs.
Edge would never have left. Like, if you had brought Edge there, Edge would have been like, fuck that, you guys, I'm home.
That's why we never went there.
We need you.
Yeah.
Still.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe we should keep going, just let the adventures of Edge and Crone. Like, everybody else went to do their own things, and Crone and Edge were like, let's get some revenge.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Around the revelry, there grows a very specific kind of magical grapevine, which perpetually creates like the booze that is drunk there. But you can also get like all kinds of delicious foods, and they also have like a magical wine that's basically laced with MDMA. Well, it's a good time. A good time. And then you're going like, man, I'm racist against elves. And then you get there like, oh my god, I'm home.
I love it.
No, I have
Racist
a-
against elves for reasons, but if those elves have different reasons of being, it's just like everybody's free, everybody's loving each other, and there's a fucking perpetual party going. Edge is home, man.
Right.
Well,
The lake house is also basically a perpetual party.
My last,
Pretty much.
my last character had it also a little bit. I didn't like elves because they were also always so stuck up. They were so so full of themselves, always thinking highly of themselves.
Like Jack or Iroh?
Iroh.
I think that's a lot of load that I think that's a lot of baggage that we take from our view from things like Lord of the Rings and stuff. Because in different fantasy settings, elves aren't always like I said just now. Like
Wood
in
elves
the,
are often quite different.
yeah, tribalistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but and it's more against that than against elf as a whole. So if I would have encountered elves outside of that, like Hannah was also an elf, right? Yeah, that would be a whole different story because that's not the stuck-up elves.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the elves who are actually in tune with something beyond their own fucking ego.
Most of them are. Most of them are. Like if you live for 700 years, your view on life changes a lot, and you're
But
not
you
as
would
much.
also think of life shorter than yours to be lesser than.
Also, yes, yeah. But
I
they tend to get
think that might also be like a necessary coping mechanism.
It's just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
you start
don't get
caring about-
attached to the ones who die after 100 years.
It's relativity.
Like the
Did you
first
guys-
time I have the first three dogs I would have in a row, I would be very sad about, and the number 4 I might somehow subconsciously decide that I'm going to care just a little bit less, so I don't get as much.
You
hurt.
don't-
You guys,
You
did
don't.
guys,
You don't care less. You love them just as much.
Did you guys see Invincible?
No,
Right.
The one with
What will you have when they are all dead in 100 years?
Yeah.
What will you have? You, Dad.
Yeah, but like he was also like, I do love your mom, but she's more like a pet to me.
Oh.
Because like the main.
the one with Bruce Willis? Invincible?
No.
It's
Very-
not Bruce Willis.
That's-
It's that guy who plays from Spider-Man.
It's cartoon. It's cartoon.
Yeah, the guy of the newspaper company.
He's such.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But he's such a good actor, and none of us can think of his name right now.
No, but like, he's one of those actors that everybody knows, but nobody knows the name. of.
Because he's J.K.
He also-
Simmons.
J.K.
I was getting there, I swear.
I was like, it also
I wasn't
starts with a J, but my brain immediately goes J. Jonah Jameson.
J.K. Simmons is so good in Avatar too.
Whiplash is also
Invincible?
Invincible. Yeah.
It's
No, but like to get things back, like Maxime, you were
Oh, that
you
one.
were talking
Okay,
a little
never
bit
mind.
about Iroh, but like about Jack. What I liked really much about your character is because through you, I needed to answer a very specific question, which is, how does summoning work? Because like there are like basically two ways that's like conjuration magic. Because conjuration as a school of magic is a weird one because it moves. No, I'm good. Thank you. Because you can teleport basically and you can summon, and summoning is always like, okay, sorry, do you teleport something that already exists to your place, or do you create? Is conjuring like a fake version or something like
I
that?
mean, one of them is really fucked up ethically.
Both of
No,
them.
man, no.
No.
You have like the whole. Have you ever seen Naruto? Like summoning there.
I don't
is
watch
like,
that Naruto crap.
No, but-
Holy shit! For the first time, it's actually applicable when I say that about anime.
Yeah. No, but like
I've also never watched Naruto.
in Naruto, it's basically like, yo, you find beings that you like form a partnership with, and then you sign a magical like scroll or contract that says like, okay, cool, now you can summon me. We are friends now. If you need me in battle, I will be there for you. You know, it's not like you pulling them without their will. It's like you make a contract. So,
Yeah, but we didn't have that role-playing aspect.
No,
it
but
was
like-
just suddenly
but
Jack
it
having
could be
mutations.
like Jack came from a rat farm. If Jack summons a gigantic rat, why is that not some rat that he has been like caring for throughout his years? And when the rat gets wounded, like he drops to 0 hit points, he poops back to the farm to be like cared for again. You know, that was also like a part of
Could
it.
have been.
I feel like, yeah, that's fair. But I feel like there are more than a few holes in that way.
I mean,
Like,
yeah, it's magic. There's
There
gonna
are
be a lot
always
of-
more.
yeah, but teleportation suddenly, easily, but also just the fact that it's basically like training a bunch of attack dogs.
Yeah.
And constantly having them fight to just near death, only to have them restore so you can summon them a day later.
This is called Pokemon. This is what we're going to with Pokemon.
And I'm sure all the social justice warriors on Tumblr have written more than enough about the ethical implications of Pokemon, let's be honest.
It's not ethical. It's not. It's just not. It's so not ethical.
But
It's
for
like, hey,
myself-
let's make our pets fight, but they are sort of self-conscious.
we can hear you, I think, because you're not wearing your microphone right now.
That is true.
Ha!
They can hear me wherever I am.
No, but I did basically take both of those things now for my worlds. Like I have one of my very, very old school NPCs who, oh wait, I'm not gonna go into the backstory, but he has 10th level magic,
Which one?
and he has well he
The
was
cool
he
one.
was always
Which one do we fight him? Is he coming in the next campaign? Who is he?
no he has always been like a conjuration wizard, always summoning like all kinds of golems and rock and earth elementals. So I came up with like, oh cool. In his adventures, he eventually traveled to the elemental plane of Earth, got into some adventuring shenanigans, and wrote up a motherfucking contract to summon an Earth elemental titan. So he eventually is going to be able to basically cast power phrase summon Earth elemental, which is going to be a literal earth-shattering sentence in the language of the gods that pulls an elemental titan to this world to do his bidding because one time he wrote a contract.
Can we thank him though?
Do I get a sneak attack?
Very easily. Very easily.
No. Earth elementals, don't they count as constructs somehow or something?
Nope, nope, they do
this
not.
this
Earth
will be
elementals do not.
This will be a literal walking mountain. Like, it will not be like a combat encounter, like this is a stat block. This is like, this mountain is now walking. How does the
It's
world
a terrain
react?
check.
Yeah,
We're gonna do
The
exploration
world
on its
screams and has sex and or kills itself.
I explore the Titan's butt.
Yeah. But yeah,
I look for caves.
but Maxime, is there anything that you would want to like further explore with Jack, or were you
Epic
just like,
cavity
going with the
search.
flow?
Well, the whole thing about Jack was that Jack began as a concept because I wanted to see how it would be if you would create a character that looks at certain things as totally different things. The thing that it started with is necromancy, because necromancy is often seen as wrong and evil. And I figured, but what if you culturally had it so that necromancy was normal, it was good, it was profitable is a big word, but it was.
It's just as
It was
much
too.
when you recycle your tools
Yeah.
into something else, or a compost pile for your plants.
So that's where I started off, and that's why Jack's a farmer, and in his farming community, the dead will also help with harvest, because you need extra hands, and the dead can help with that. And everybody knows that if they die, they can be used to help with harvest or any other kinds of work.
Having
Because-
a donor card, but like literally.
Yeah, it's instead of giving your organs to help somebody,
What's
you
our
give
choice? Like
your second labor. You
like
have
being on the
first labor-
receiving end of a donor card. Like, here, have a rat.
You have first labor and second labor. It's a kind of like a Marxist dream.
No, it's
No.
okay.
You have to work even after you die.
But that's how Jack started, and that's also I like to use foreign words for names. So Jack is named Jack Rolnick, and Rolnick is just Polish for farmer, actually.
Nice. Yeah.
Iro's last name was Iro Dornbeek, and Dornbeek is Irish for small fist. So it's just Iro Small Fist, actually. Small fist. And when I made Jack, I just went to Poland, and I figured I would just name him Farmer in Polish, which was Rolnick, which actually quite worked out quite well.
Rolls on the tongue quite nicely, yeah.
Yeah.
And with that, I also, with figuring out Jack, I also made some small decisions, like Jack's a half orc, because I wanted to play maybe something more like a human, but then I figured, oh no, maybe a half orc, that's something I never done before. But that meant an orc and a not orc. And when I tried to figure out how Jack would look, I found a lot of horny art. There were a lot of orcs that were just really sexy, buff orcs and such. So I figured I would make Jack's father an orc, and Jack's mother was just a normal human, but she was really horny for like big, muscular orcs. And that was the thing. His dad was named Kuzarak Rolnick, and his mom was just Genevieve Rolnick Erickson. Erickson.
Oh my God.
That's her last
So
name.
what you were saying earlier, have y'all ever played Stellaris? It's like Crusader Kings that I played on the stream, but like in space. So basically you have your space civilization, which you can customize very much.
Space Crusade.
Yeah, and you can like,
Crusader!
you can be any kind of civic, and you can be an authoritarian slave empire, or like you can be like the Federation from Star Trek, but you can also be a mega corporation. And
Yay.
one of the civics.
Okay, calm down, Elon.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's a joke that like people create mega corporations like Amazon, but one of the civics you could take as a mega corporation is permanent employment. This mega corporation has ensured that its employees will never be out of a job ever. After the employee's time is up, they will be repurposed for simpler tasks so that they can still provide for their families and pay off their debts.
You can check out any time you like.
Well, it's sort of like that, but then more a communal sense. And also, he came from this small farming community. It was called Greenwater Creek, because where there is farming, there's also a lot of nitrogen that gets in the water, and the water turns green. We have that a lot in our creeks here in the Netherlands. It's just a deposit of nitrogen. And I figured I would just name it after that, so it became
Hell yeah.
Greenwater Creek.
Like wholesome necromancy though is like a vibe.
Yeah, and it's very communal. So the village, it's just a small village. They have some people on top, but it's really just to help your neighbors. And that's also Jack took that outside to the big city. So Jack doesn't really see the struggles of Tarouche, because something of nobility is not really something that he thinks of, that he knows.
But surely his village had to have been under some lords.
Yeah,
Right,
but he doesn't.
I imagine.
They don't.
Oh
really,
god, we have another pack member.
Oh damn.
It's me.
It's you?
Aw,
They
why
don't,
me?
he doesn't really
Dirty
concern
peanut.
himself with that, because of course there's probably somebody higher, and you of course you have the Empire who collects taxes and such.
Yeah.
But aside from that, that's just something that's
Yeah, it's
given.
way off. It's hands
Yeah.
off.
It's so far.
policy.
It's so far out.
This feels
that
Okay, fair.
it's not really. It's just something that you have to pay, but often they can just provide for that, and then just get on with the lives.
Something I do wonder about your play style.
Better.
At the beginning of the campaign, did you like? Because I've seen some other role players and podcasters and stuff do it as an archetype, but did you choose to have a character that would have a stupid anecdote for everything we came across? Oh yeah, I remember my neighbor.
One time in Vegas,
Or, oh yeah, my uncle had that once, and we reanimated his arm.
Well, Jack is not that old. I figured Jack would be just around 20, 25 years old.
such a baby.
And
Yeah, orcs
a
normally
country
are
boy.
short-lived.
He's a country boy, so he gets around town. He has fun with his friends, goes into the woods, maybe fights some.
Goes into the woods, giggity.
Maybe fights some. What's the
Owl
thing
bears?
fight? Owl bears. Yeah. gets
We
no-
spent
gets a lot
3 weeks
doesn't
finding them.
gets a lot of knowledge about owl bears. Doesn't know how to communicate. Knowledge about owl bears. No, but yeah, I figured it would be fun to have Jack. He does have a lot of stories, but some don't really make sense. Some are just boy stories. The stories that you have of when you were a boy and just did fun things.
Edge would have loved to hear so many more of those.
There were always stories.
Because I was like trying to work my way through the group because Edge already decided they don't like Tarush. Decided they absolutely love Olam and will fucking die to protect her. And then was like, Kron's okay.
Kind of like that.
Kron's kind of like the dad I always wanted. Like, you know,
But it
firm
makes me
but
want to be
kind.
rebellious.
But also in kind of like a weird way, trying not to get involved because of that. But like the next
yeah,
person-
issues.
It would have been problematic if you two slept together.
Oh, so much was never gonna happen. Like way too many red flags and traumas there. But the very first person that Edge was gonna latch onto was gonna be Jack, and just talk about his hometown and how he grew up and where those freaking rats come from and can I hold one? And
But yeah, because Jack was inherently very good. He didn't have really a bad bone in his body, but the things that were normal to him and that were good to him were seen as evil by some other people. So the necromancy was considered good in this village because that's a way that you can help your villagers, help your fellow citizens. But other people would find that evil, would find it bad and
Yeah,
evil.
but I also felt like your morality was like very neutral in the sense of it was very much up to whatever whim you had.
yeah,
at
like
the
very
time.
chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
Like how does this serve me?
Well, more like true neutral in the sense like there was no balance one way or the other. Maybe you had like good in the beginning on your mind, and
Well,
this is
it was-
how I interpreted it.
The thing is, he was good, but he was, because that village was his life, he was totally ripped from his context. So, so he would be much more impulsive because it might lead to, in the end, a good ending.
Yeah.
Maybe you would have to fight someone or kill someone, but in the end, the story that ends would be good, and that's his plan. But he would be much more impulsive. Instead of when he would live at the farm, because then you know the context that you live in.
Yeah.
But he was totally ripped out of it because he didn't, like nobility wasn't really effective for him. He didn't really think outside of his village.
Because I never really felt like emotional disapproval for the fucked up shit Tarush did from Jack, at least. Jack would sometimes be like, "Well, I think it's
that was not
useful."
super cool. Yeah, like
It's
maybe
super
not so
useful.
cool.
You know, it's not super
Useful.
useful.
That's
And
fair.
You're very practical in your assessment of my actions. Sometimes people are like, "Oh yeah, we'll kill this person," and someone's like,
I mean, from a farm point of view where he grew up, that would make sense. Like,
Yeah.
we killed this person, but it's not useful because they would mean more to us if they were alive, or we can't repurpose this body to suit our needs.
Jack
It
was
makes
also
sense.
a very practical guy. Like, you have to get stuff done, and if you have to get stuff done, you have to follow certain steps. And
"You have to
you
take
wouldn't
the
get
you have to take the horse out back with the shotgun."
Yeah, you wouldn't
Yeah.
get too emotional with stuff.
Why did Jack ever leave his city?
Yeah, that's what I was
Just
wondering.
to find something new, actually.
There's gotta be more to life.
I tried to do something very atypical within a
That was the
RPG.
early 2000s.
I tried to do something very atypical with an RPG, and that was to have normal parents. Just I have normal supportive
trauma.
parents, and if you come home, they're
Like that barbarian
"Oh,
comic.
I'm so glad that you're back, and how was your travels and such."
Something.
Do you know that barbarian comic where he's like, yeah, my family was murdered by orcs, and then there's like this orc woman running after him. Honey, you forgot your watch. You're going into the mountains. Are you sure you don't want to wear a jacket? And stuff like, you know, where he comes home like covered in blood, and his mom's like, oh, somebody let out Mr. Grumpy Pants. It's called rage, Mom. Well, when you were 2, we called him Mr. Grumpy Pants. Now clean up the blood before the dog licks it all up. And then there's the dog like following him. It's so wholesome.
That's
One of the things that we talked about for Jack was that you might also have ventured out to see, because all of your magical talents were taught at the village, at like your local like elementary school.
He went to community college.
Yeah. It's a community. Yeah, that's also the thing. He wanted to learn more about magic that he was learning. And at a certain point, the learning stopped. You go to a community college inside of your village, and you learn most of the stuff that is of interest of village life. And he wanted to learn more about it. So it was just pure interest that led him outside. Yeah.
Nice.
And I also, with my last character with Jack,
You were like the Ash Ketchum of necromancers.
Yeah.
Basically.
You just went out together.
I
corpses.
pictured it,
and I didn't.
and
have
I'm
to-
not hating it. Like, I just pictured Jack with an Ash Ketchum hat on, and a Pokeball, and just like a million rats around him, or ratatas if you prefer.
And the amazing thing is, I didn't have to catch all Pokemon to use them.
You just use it.
I just have to get better, and then all of a sudden I have a certain set of Pokemon.
Yeah, we never really got there, or I guess in the very last sessions, but like under the table, I already like basically passed you the ritual to create undead creatures, right? Like
Yeah.
this is very logical. This is something that Jack knows, of course. You can create undead if you want.
Yeah, it's something that you have seen multiple times, like people in the village, maybe your elders. They've done such a ritual. It's like when you watch your parents cook something multiple times. At a certain point, you catch the drift.
The
of
first
what
few
you're doing.
times you fuck up, but then eventually,
Yeah,
after the first horrifying monstrosities, you get to an actual proper.
at a certain point, they don't constantly moan kill.
At a certain point.
And
Yeah.
then
At a certain point, you learn to take out their tongues before you revive them. Yeah, exactly.
oh yeah, just have to sew their mouth shut. That's the one.
My bad. Yeah.
My joints hurt. My brain is melting. Shut up, George.
I can already see like Jack's mom, like in the village, this dark ritual summoning the powers of the Lord of Undeath, skulls flying, dissonant whispers. Feels ready, and then just like a new dude has been created, as if he just pulled out like a apple pie from the oven.
Yeah.
And then he starts whining. You're like, Uncle George, no one liked you in life, but you're even worse as an undead.
Do we really need to lynch you again?
Like,
You remember how much trouble it was to sew your limbs together?
No, it's
Come on.
just your left leg that's a drag here.
Or if you reanimate a smoker and they don't really talk, they do cough. Sometimes it's that.
And sometimes they literally cough up their lungs. And they're like,
And it just keep on hanging
and
out.
it just dangles there, yeah. They're not using them.
Dude, I love when my players do my world building for me. Like, this is your village is going to be, Maxime.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fucked up.
So good.
I mean, I like as from a real world perspective, of course, I do have to wonder what kind of what kind of effect it has on a child's development to see their dead grandparents with holes in them, you know, having been kind of mummified and dried up before being revived. Like, what does that do
Also,
to them?
this is normal,
We
and
saw-
the village presents
No,
it.
we saw
I guess,
with George. Like I was thinking, okay, cool. So Maxime has told me that this is how this works. You're not going to like keep a rotting corpse along. Like George, the undead
Yeah.
shambler that came by was like completely embalmed. Like
Yeah.
all of the organs were
Exactly.
sort
Yeah.
of,
Like,
you know,
they take
like-
care of it.
yeah,
He just had a hole in the stomach with rats.
just like Rat Carrier.
I mean, I have that too.
It's very practical. And, every society has a way of dealing with the dead, and if that's the way that you deal with the dead, then it becomes a
Yeah.
normal thing. If you would always bury your dead, it would feel very extreme and very harsh if you would burn your dead all the time. If you would cremate them, but also the other way around. If you always cremate them,
Christian
it would feel very possessive and maybe very weird to have a plot of land where you dump all of your dead people down into the ground.
Like
For you,
Yeah.
you
To
like
make it like decompose into the ground and be
Yeah.
possibly toxic and
Like,
shit.
you like having the rotting corpses of your deceased around?
Yeah,
Dude,
it's just,
weird.
You put a phone on top of you, talk to him. What the fuck's wrong with you, man? They're dead.
It's the same with cremation. Like you have a face where you have the ashes of your dead mother just sitting there, or maybe like in a necklace.
that seems unnecessarily cruel to burn the body after they die.
Yeah.
Use that.
So-
What else are you gonna do with the body, though? Rot in the ground?
Use
As
the
toxic as human beings are
don't
these
do it.
Make
days.
it work.
Or you set them on fire,
You make it to menial
scatter the
tasks.
ashes.
I choose option C.
Yeah.
What Maxine said.
What
Yeah.
is option C?
You make it to menial tasks.
Yeah, that's also a very good point. Grandma! Oh wait,
yeah.
we cremated her.
We're not gonna just like have those corpses lying around waiting for the zombie apocalypse. We're going to be one step ahead of the zombie apocalypse.
And often,
It's already here.
and
It just
often
alerts
there are-
like you rang.
We weaponize
He's
the zombie
asking if
apocalypse.
you'd like a cup of tea, dear.
But often there's also, of course, cultural rules and norms. So the thought behind it is that if dead people would be reanimated, it would mostly be during the harvest period or before it, and then keeping them for the harvest period, because that's the most labor-intensive period.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
after that, if you would keep them after that, they will probably freeze because they're not very warm, and it gets cold outside, and then they just freeze stuck. So then you would dispose of them, and you do something to de-animate them.
Alright.
Or kill.
Use them for kindling.
Yeah. Or
do
maybe,
that
or
best.
make him fight some owlbears.
I make-
You know, hang them over the fire,
No,
catch
they-
their fat to turn into candles,
I'm
and you use
making-
their dried bones on the fire.
I'm
So
making mental
I-
notes of like there is going to be some sort in your village. There's going to be some sort of holiday of like the dead freezing over, and that's like signaling the end of harvest period, and then
Yeah.
there being a big party because all the work is done.
George Frozen, he's
Grandma's
definitely said,
frozen over, guys. It's winter,
And,
alright.
and because they're all embalmed, we will call it hollows.
I love it. I love it. Write this down. Write it
Got it,
down.
got
You
it.
should write this down.
I need more wine. Is what I
And we
need.
should
Well-
also have a timeout so we can smoke.
That's fair. Well,
It's 8:30.
yeah. I'm thinking, do we want to do
Yeah,
Crone
let's
first?
let's go
You make-
let's go for the characters first. Let's finish up with Crowan and with Olam, and afterwards we can talk about the campaign then. And you can answer your.
questions for a
So I want to hear
while.
about Crone.
Okay, so Crowan, Crowan started out as what I always do as a character concept. What do I want my character to do? And I wanted my character to be scary. So basically, I noticed.
I'm sorry you failed.
I failed devastated. But he was scary for the enemies because Intimidate
Fair.
just worked. And I just found out later that it was a great first action to take instead of just attacking twice and missing for most of the time. So Intimidate just worked for me. And then I just, oh shit, I have to have a background now. And I did nothing with the intimidation aspect of it. It just naturally was scary to the enemies. No reason why. But Cronin's character was he was born in Torsika by from two parents, makes sense. Joy and Alistair Bilton. Alistair Bilton was a forest ranger, I think it's called in English. Bushwalker from
Forest Ranger. Yeah.
forest ranger.
Yeah.
And Joy was just a city gal who just fell in love with a mysterious forest ranger.
Oh my God! It's a Hallmark movie. City girl just gets dumped by fiance, moves into the wilds for a little bit, falls in love with a lumberjack.
Did she also lose faith in Christmas?
Oh,
Christmas.
Until she was told about the local what do you call them? Peer pressure by old people. Traditions. Thank you.
There is no Christmas in my world. Please continue about
And she's like taking a walk through the snowed under forest.
No, it's like
She's
there's no
like
snow.
sad.
She got dumped during Christmas week, so Christmas is canceled. But
It's
then she goes to
sad.
this rural little village, and there's a Christmas tree
But
in the village square.
would
So
top it.
cruel.
He's not alive, Jack. He's a first ranger.
Well, hey,
Same
I don't
thing.
see a difference.
Potato, tomatoes. Like Hollywood will 100% turn it into a hunky, sweaty lumberjack. But continue.
Fair. But he always came back during the holidays. But the couple was kind of it was kind of a weird situation because the Alistair would be gone for a couple of days and then come back randomly. So he never really could count his dad much. And his mother was really overprotective, so he decided to be kind of his own man to show that it's alright, you don't have to protect him all the time. And the main focus on the story I did was why did he leave Torsica? And, what is Torsica, you ask? Well, thanks for asking.
Oh,
Torsica is a town
you
that...
didn't even give us
No,
a
no.
split second to ask.
Wait,
What
wait,
is Torsica, Vincent?
Like I said, Torsica is the French island Corsica, but actually on the back of a turtle.
No.
No. But hold on, guys. What is Torsica?
Vincent,
Torsica-
what is Torsica?
Torsica is a...
I'll do you one better.
What? Have you seen the
Maybe-
Not yet. Shut up.
Maybe you guys should shut up for a fucking moment and let Vincent do the fucking talking. How's
Yeah,
that?
thanks. Okay, I had an actual backstory
Sorry,
about
Daddy.
Torsica. I'm gonna just copy that back in. The slogan of Torsica is where the party starts.
Wait.
No.
Yeah, it's,
No, the party starts with Edge. Continue.
Let Vincent talk for a moment.
the
Come on.
patron saint is Nick Budan, and it was after a great cataclysm that wrecked the city. Nick Budan, through powered with beer and alcohol, just spread cheer and managed to make, with a couple of miracles, to rebuild the city basically. And one of his miracles was, for example, let me check, the ever-full well. So it was a well that would always fill with water that somehow makes you drowsy. So it was basically alcohol,
Drowsy.
Yeah, drowsy. Sorry.
But also,
Yeah, Jersey after a couple beers. Like, I'm a little
Yeah,
Jersey.
dirty.
In Torsica, it's pronounced Drew.
Yeah, that's fair. It's just local dialect.
He also
Okay,
made
continue.
the cave of parting water drops. So it was a cave where the water drops would always fall after rain and make some music that actually always changes according to the rain. So it was always, it was basically like a small party all the time. And the Garden of Inner Peace, where everyone could once a year come to the garden on his birthday, write down what worries him the most, put it on the flower, and then the flower will not blossom, but the inverse of blossom.
Yeah.
Catch up, close up, and take the worry away.
nice.
So that was one of his three miracles. So that was one.
Sorry, but can you just imagine Alam and Edge at the flower? Just like, okay, what are we gonna write down? Why does it have to be only one thing?
But Vincent,
Yeah.
that is Torsica. But why did
Why did he leave?
Why did you eventually leave?
Yeah, he was kicked out. He was
Wait.
kicked out. Yeah.
Because you killed a woman? Okay,
I killed a woman.
I'm sorry. No, really?
Yeah.
If the two of you had not been so fucking toxic masculine about your problems, Edge would have loved you immediately. You were kicked out of your hometown
Hey.
because you killed a woman. Edge is your bro, man.
Hey, kettle here.
Yeah.
The pot.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Stop calling me black.
Again, Edge never once lied to you.
Fuck you.
Admitted the truth a lot, never lied.
Yeah, that's just his word.
No, it's not the same thing. I
I
never
got a question for
Vincent.
Vincent.
Yeah, go ahead.
That woman that you killed, is that the same one that got out of the sea and
Yeah.
tried to kill us? Okay.
With
Do we
what?
know her name?
What's
Sorry, what?
I remember.
What?
He didn't know her.
Yeah, no, I knew it.
He
The,
did. He did.
Crowing knew, but the Wouter helped me with that one. She
Yeah,
gave
we
he
had to
gave
do-
me her name.
Yeah, we had to do perception checks or something
Like-
to see.
Just to give a little bit of like background information. All of this about Torsica, I have never seen. The backstory of Crowin was me texting Vincent multiple questions because he didn't give me anything. Yeah, I just like okay.
Here's his character sheet.
What-
Okay, but what's his story? I have to
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that story.
like okay, so I'm a guy. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm an ex-guard. Cool. Where are you from? Just some village.
City. Yeah, this is
Just some city. Like, dude, does the city have a name? I guess. Torsica.
Looks at him.
All right, cool. Do you have family? Yeah, I just have parents. Do they have names? This went on for a couple of hours.
Can we see that text thread? Put the text thread in the
I don't-
Discord if
I
you
don't have
can.
I don't have my phone with me, but that's how it started. But
Yeah.
because we went to Torsica for basically like your background a little bit,
yeah.
I then asked Vincent, like, leading up to it, you and I are going to make Torsica. You and
Yeah,
I
so I
are
started
going to-
working on
yeah.
it.
Later.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And so the reason why he was picked up, it was the ghost woman was Holly Kierman.
Holly Kierman.
Kierman, yeah, that's how you pronounce it. And what it was all about.
That's how you.
So continue.
The whole point of the story was there was a serial killer called The Visit,
Oh,
Which is
that's
also-
a good name for a serial killer.
Yeah. which also was one of the reasons why Jack was not really on the good books with Crowin in the beginning, because when Crowin heard that Jack was a necromancer, he was like,
Yeah, I noticed that.
But that's because The Visit was a serial killer who killed someone and then reanimated the corpse to make it come knocking on the family's door.
Oh.
So he was a pretty sadistic person.
Oh, that's got so many layers, and that would be
That's
such a
horror.
good horror movie.
It
Write it down and pitch it to Netflix, like seriously.
Netflix will take anything.
Exactly, and their horror movies are dog shit. So make it happen. Please,
It's still a little bit in the works, but The Visit already has like a beta version of a stat block.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I want to keep playing now.
The reason why he was kicked out is that The Visit apparently had some kind of bond with Holly Kerriman, like he was a friend, or Holly trusted him enough to have him in her home, and that allowed him to plant some evidence. So at some point, Crone was sure, he was 100% certain that Kerriman did it, and chased her. She tried to run away. He shot the ball, didn't shoot the leg, went straight for the head.
like a cop does.
Mm.
Yeah, that was the anger issues a bit about it, because you as a cop, you're not gonna be happy with The Visit. It's just after the third trying family saying their story, you're gonna have to be pretty cold heart to not be mad at the perpetrator. So when he found out she was just a simple enchantress, yeah, the force wasn't happy with him. So yeah, that was basically his story at the start.
But you were banned from your city.
Yeah, well, not
But we
really.
were going there.
No, he was banned from the force, and he wasn't really welcome anymore.
And
and
he willingly chose exile.
Yeah,
what is it
basically.
they call it in the army? Like dishonorably discharged?
yeah, basically that.
And killing innocent people tends to be frowned upon.
Yeah.
Unless you're in America, of course.
Fine.
But yeah,
Unless you're in America and are a member of the NRA. Otherwise,
That's-
people
that's how it
still go,
started,
why
like-
to kill him?
with Crone being, you came to me like, hey, I want Crone to be sort of a witch hunter, like a sort of guard that is afraid of the dark sides of magic, and
Yeah,
go
basically, yes.
explore those themes.
Yeah, and also anger issues. I wanted to portray.
Yeah.
Oh, it's I didn't portray that well.
No?
Ed's had bigger anger issues.
Yeah,
than
you always shouted at me on that one.
You were more focused on your anger issues.
Yeah, I was more.
You were already in therapy. Edge was just like punching.
I already
your
knew
way through
anger.
the
You already knew that anger could help you. I already knew that anger could put you in
You
trouble.
never,
I-
Crone never said it out loud, but I always get like, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Little bit. Yeah, he was kind of the Murta of the
I
party.
took the father role.
yeah.
And one thing I really enjoyed,
Uh-huh.
actually, that was such good role playing from you, was when you scolded Edge?
Yeah.
Like because it sounded so much like that older cop who made too many mistakes, you know, like when you scolded Edge for being angry all the time and this and that, like
And
that was really good.
Mostly for picking on you all the time. We were a team. That's the thing in the role playing that got me. That I was like, yeah, Edge is part of a team, and they may not like everybody in the team, but the team is the thing that makes it work.
Yeah.
And so there's one douchebag in that team that Edge doesn't like, but that doesn't cancel out the 3 other people that Edge is kind of okay about.
In a lot of ways.
And I also kind of personally got triggered in the little sub in me where I was like, okay, Daddy, I'm sorry.
But in a lot of
You
ways,
were very firm, and I did not expect
not only in that one time that you scolded Edge, but there, I think, like 3 or 4, maybe 5 times that you really took the floor to just talk some fucking sense into this group. What I really liked.
Just like murder hobo, murder hobo, murder hobo, and making it check out with Edge
Murder
hobo.
hobo soup.
Murder hobo, because that provides bodies. Common sense.
In a lot of ways, Crone was the glue of this group.
Yeah.
What I also felt with Rowan is also that he knows the troubles that he has, and he really tries to contain them, maybe to an extent that's not healthy. Like
100%.
he knows the power that he has, the anger, and he really tries to hold it.
Very
inside.
much like trying to prevent the people around him to make the same mistakes he has
Yeah, that
without
was the
actually
actual thing.
confronting his own mistakes.
Yeah, you were really my project, but he was the one. The only reason I kept him in the team was because I was worried what he would do if he was out. So, you know, you were like my project, like
Yeah,
okay.
I noticed that. It's like, okay, Crone is
She's
trying to
fixable.
make Edge a little bit of a protege, but
They're
part of me
fixable,
part of me really wanted to be like, okay, let's be in his tutelage, but at the same time, like, I am like 3 times older than you are.
But
Is Edge just gonna accept that?
But I also felt in some ways less mature.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely.
Yeah, no. Because I think that you said it, like, kind of as a joke to me once. It's like, you're a monk and your wisdom is my stat. And I was like, yeah, no, Edge has got a lot of lessons left to learn.
So,
Like, Edge was trained as a monk physically.
Yeah, fair.
But mentally, they are far from where they need to be to even begin that spirituality.
Edge had a certain upbringing that had been a long while to tear down, and now starting again from scratch to build something up, like
So basically,
like separate from that.
Edge is very much me in my 20s
Yeah.
with the whole like kind of feeling.
I am all there for what you said about Tarush. I do wonder what, like, with the whole afraid what he's gonna do if he's not with us. I do wonder what you thought about Alam and Jack.
Well, Jack, it was a bit as was as a witness as his action. He was a cool guy. He's not doing anything wrong. And then I heard, what? You're a necromancer? The fuck? And that was like that.
Yeah, it's like with that cool, like kind of like yeah.
It was like Jack is doing fine, but the more he learned about his background, the less happy he was with Jack.
To be honest, having a dead relative knock at somebody's door would be a massive prank in this village. I don't think that
You'd heard this, you're like, oh yeah, I did that with my cousins.
That sounds like something you do so well, like especially people who kind of, oh, if somebody has dementia, then just let
Or if you know your cousins are getting lucky, like somebody pulled a girl and you're just sending his dead grandpa over, like, son,
I bet people have done
practice safe sex.
The conversation, like, lights dim, Crone making up his backstory to Jack about, like, the visit, and then Jack go, yeah, Tuesdays.
I think that would have happened because if you grow up in the village like Jack does, then when you open the door, maybe for the first second you have something like Grandpa, but then you figured, oh yeah.
And then you're like, no, we buried him.
I'm sorry,
Like, weeks ago.
comes in.
It's like Grandpa, oh Grandpa.
I'm stuck on a scenario here with Grandpa knocking on the door while you're getting lucky. And
Yeah.
Grandpa being like, You can use my bladder as a condom.
No,
Do you want a bit of my colon? It's a little bit tighter.
you hear a knock.
Never mind.
You hear a knock on the door. You hear a moan, and then you figure, wait, that's not her.
All right,
Yeah.
we can get a little bit further into the characters in a bit as well, but I want to check in with Olam, and then we can take a little break. And
I
then...
just wanted to
oh, sorry.
quickly say what Crow thought about Alam, because that's funny because it shifted a lot. At the beginning I thought maybe love interest, let's try it, just see what happens, and then it got it's gonna get creepy. It's turning into a dad's daughter.
Yeah, no, that's very much grooming.
Yeah,
yeah, no,
that's not.
yeah,
That's
no.
not. And at some point,
Also, more literally.
he became
No, that's what Edge does.
and then he became worried, jealous that Edge was getting so much of an influence on Alam. He was like, oh, this is not gonna end well.
My daughter, no.
Not my daughter. Bad influence.
Did you pull the cishet white guy? Oh, she's a lesbian.
That's my biggest trouble. My biggest trouble, you were the kind of
They took a
Person.
bath together and they didn't
No, no.
invite me.
Like they were going to be a bad influence.
yeah, basically, you were the kind of person who would rip someone's nose off without telling us.
True.
Well, I didn't know that, but you were the kind of person
If
who would.
they deserved it.
Eh,
If anything, Edge was
All
teaching
those-
Olam to stand up for herself.
Edge, all those self-serving sentences like, I technically didn't lie, he deserved it. You were just as bad. You were
Oh man,
just as bad.
I'm just feeling the 20-year-old inside of me,
Yeah.
man. Just trying to push those red flags deep down in the
Tarush and
You know,
Edge
it's
were
like if I
very
don't
different
look at the
in their
red
use
flags,
of
they're not there,
violence.
right?
no.
Tarush and Edge were very similar in
Oh,
there.
so much.
Also in
The
their
thing is, you're an
gratuitous
18-year-old
use.
human, and I was already in my 150s.
Yeah.
That says a lot more about Edge than it says about Tarush.
Yeah, fair. Tarush was, I guess, if you look at a 20-year-old, like a very understandable product of his fucked up
Yeah,
environment.
exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Edge
fair.
was like product of environment, completely broken down to zero. Who the fuck am I? Sex is fun. That's kind of like
So
where
you're, like,
Edge is
basically
coming
16.
from. Yeah.
Okay.
18, 19. Like, I very much based Edge on myself in my early 20s.
So-
yeah.
So, Alam,
Hello.
Tell us.
Hello.
Oh,
You
I
have
don't know
notes.
where to start.
What are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, start.
The fuck are you?
No,
Where did you come from? Where did you
That's the end
start?
of the
Were you
story.
alive?
Where'd you go? From Disney. Okay, sorry. Okay, so Olam was me. Basically.
You were 50 though.
No, I never called
Shit.
Olam Malum ever.
No, right?
plot twist.
Did you really not realize?
No, no.
Of course he did. He
Yeah.
called him Malum so many
Yeah,
times.
I accidentally mixed up the names so often.
Yeah, I know. Okay, but basically what happened to Melo is that, well, our previous party just ended, right? And I didn't want Hannah to be dead. So I made up a story where they were on a plane and I didn't know what plane they were, like both of them. So Hannah and Melo were together. And there was some mist coming up to them and they were just forgetting more and more and not knowing what's going to happen.
For context, for people who don't know,
Yeah, that's right.
Hannah was Crystal's character in our previous campaign.
And Olam
A
was her cat.
druid who had a
Malo.
animal
You
companion
did it.
called Malo, who now is somehow Olam during the story that Crystal's now telling. So
Yeah.
mist rose up to their legs.
What?
Mist rose up, you said?
Yeah. Well, there was mist all around them, and they were just forgetting more and more stuff. Also about their friends they had, and then there were more and more creatures around them that Melo wanted to protect Hannah from. So Melo was just protecting Hannah and trying to save whatever he was able to save, because Melo was a boy. And before they know, Melo was passed out, Hannah was passed out, but Melo knew Hannah was still there because he could feel her breathing. And Melo was just trying to protect Hannah still, although he was passed out. And that's when Saloon kicked in and was like, okay, well, you did your purpose, you tried to save Hannah till you died. and that's always what Melo wanted to do, is just save Hannah and protect her from everything in the world. That's why he came with her when he started, like, when the previous thing started.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Melo was always with Hannah, to protect her, basically. And Sloan basically just, tried to get him to the next world, but he didn't want to because Hannah was still there alive. That's the last thing he knew. And then he kind of got, how do you call that? Balloons?
Gender bent?
Balloons?
Rewarded.
Rewarded with a new life. Because he didn't want to die. He couldn't die because Hannah was still there. And Shloom was like, I can't make you alive again in this body, but I can give you another body, but you will forget everything.
So Saloon is
Wait.
like a god of death?
Well, Saloon is more like a guide. She is there to guide people to the next life or another life. More like you.
Like the
The
ferryman
like the
who
Grim
brings
Reaper?
you to the other world.
Yes, something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
In this
I have a
case.
question.
Yeah.
So Melo is trans.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Well,
But it was Melo is made into a woman to, just in case Hannah is still alive, that Hannah won't just recognize Melo as Olam. Just to confuse her more. Because
Why? Why confuse her? Fucking
Well,
deities.
it's kind of not meant to be to make to give someone another body. It's like, it's not something that happens often. It's really just a reward because Melo put that much effort into saving Hannah, that he was special.
So
And
in,
also,
so
I
in
can-
your world,
I can
Hannah
add-
still
I
lives,
can add
but
to that.
Melo is then dead.
Well,
technically,
not
but-
really.
I can
It's-
add to that a little bit, by the way, but that's a little bit of my DM interpretation, and eventually we'll also go over the ideas that I had for your characters. Like, using someone is a big word, but Saloon also had big plans for you, so it wasn't only because you didn't want to. It was also like, this one has potential,
Yeah, that's kind of what I gather too. Yeah.
and if you want to go meet Hannah again, that could throw.
Yeah, was she still alive? Because that's my main question, but you can save that for later. I'm not sure.
Well, I can say no, but not because it was a conscious decision, but because I can never play Hannah. Only you can play Hannah. If I'm going to do it, I'm very afraid of doing things wrong. So I am not going to play player characters. That's yours.
oh, that's interesting. As the DM, I would make a different.
Well, that's wrong.
And that's why you quit, Charlie, because you're having fun wrong.
But
Well, now
Just, I have to say, now that all cards are on the table, Edge would fucking die for every single one of you and help you fix your problems before even thinking about addressing their own. Just being like the whole like toxic, I'll help you and I'll help you and I'll make everybody better and I'll fix you. But what about your problems? I don't have any problems.
that sounds like something that a tank would say.
what did
Jack would not die for you all.
I love
you
you,
are just-
Daddy.
You are normal people.
Jack would let you die for his harvester?
If you would.
I
die,
would be
Jack
honored
would reanimate you.
To
all.
work on Jack's farm during
Yes.
harvest.
So what was Olam's like opinion of the rest of the group? Like how did she see the rest
She
of
loved
the group?
me.
Yeah, like
I
you were
have the
close
notes
with,
to prove
with-
it.
Maybe let
That's
her
right.
answer, Abe.
Well, at the start, she definitely loved Edge. Yay. But she was kind of conflicted on Tarush. Because we really had a strong start, but going to the end of where we ended, you were kind of being a dick.
How could that be?
And I know.
Translation, Edge rubbed off on her.
Yeah, definitely. But at
Scissoring doesn't actually work in real life, Charlie. It's a hetero fantasy, okay?
But I know somewhere at the start of everything, Olam as a saloon, if my party was evil, and she was like, "Oh, you have to like figure out yourself." I guess that was kind of a hint.
Yes.
But I didn't.
I'm not gonna
get
say
that.
yes. I'm not gonna say no. I'm
No,
gonna
I
turn
will-
this on you.
I will say this, like, for the world, I really subscribe to the view of gods the way that like the Elder Scrolls does it.
Yeah.
That like the gods are very, very far away, and there are only theories of us mortals. Like the same with our religion. There are a lot of Christian beliefs that all conflict with each other because we just don't fucking know. And that's also how it in my world works. So if you eventually get to the point that you're a motherfucking hero, like a player character in my campaign, and you can communicate with the god, that is the point where you realize that they're not being cryptic because they want to be. They're being cryptic because they literally cannot communicate with you in an efficient way. Like, how are you going to explain to a cockroach how an atom bomb works?
But that was
Like,
my thing.
there's-
with
Big
You just
thing
know
will
they're gonna
prove you
survive.
die.
So
Done.
so like you have a view of good and evil. Like if you go out to the scope, like the different outer planes are very elemental, not like earth, fire, like whatever, but like elemental in like concepts that they what like
That they
represent
Oh.
represent. And in that grand scheme of things, good and evil are just like different flavor, different colors of M&Ms. Like, I don't, dude, who gives a shit? In the grand scheme of things, good and evil are so non-significant
Yeah.
that this is like good, evil, who gives a shit? Go do your motherfucking thing because I have ideas for you.
Yeah, my thing with Olam and Saloon was that Saloon was basically the only thing she definitely know existed. Because, well, she didn't know anything. Well, you were new, everything was new.
We had
She was
was
thinking
probably-
in like Dutch. That's why she didn't know any English but knew a couple of words because some words are like
Yeah.
Similar.
kind of the same.
It's just, I would also like to remind you that our bath session is one of the favorite moments of our viewers.
So you
I hear so many people
What was
who are
the-
like, "Oh my god, that thing was so cute with like Edge and."
They were just
Olaf
horny
and the
cis-het men. You
Yeah,
were
we
just
are.
talking about
We have like five
Literally
viewers.
every single one of them was a woman or femme presenting.
Yeah, we have like five
Yeah.
viewers, all of which are friends from both Charlie and Ape here. So yeah.
Horn
But
dogs.
what was
Hi,
the situation with-
watching.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ooh,
Hmm?
Yeah, that's some
the situation with
All right. So
we actually
that is a good question.
For after the break.
After-
I have to pee so bad.
You can go pee.
You get to pee or smoke.
We'll-
Yes.
Like for like the two people that are still watching us, we're going to go on a break and we will be back shortly to continue talks about the fuck I have created for all y'all.
Hey, so see you in a few minutes. Let's say 15-ish.
Yeah.
Peace.
Whoop! Also,
Hey. Hey. Hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey.
Hello.
baby.
Hello. Last we left off, we were getting drunk while talking, reminiscing, shouting nonsense about the campaign, and we are going to continue to do that for like another hour, I think. At which point it will be 10 o'clock, and we will eventually call it a day. But we now had a little bit of a stop with all of the. What are you doing?
I'm fine. It's
You're
just my
good? Alright.
phone thing is broken.
We had a little bit of a stop with all of the player characters, and we will get back to those when questions do arrive. What are you doing? What are
Eight
you-
questions are
what?
right. Come on, guys.
That's Shatner.
I feel like we should just continue this stream for our viewers.
viewers be like, yes, we are the viewers.
Nice. It was a thing.
It's an
sorry,
internet
hey.
thing. It's where somebody yells Shatner, and then you have to very much
Oh.
overact whatever you're doing.
Oh fuck! Right. Sorry.
Oh, and Crystal,
Yeah.
you're now hungry.
You are now hungry.
You are now hunger.
Hunger.
You
Or
are
is you?
Hunger, but I hardly even know her.
But so yeah. about the entire freaking campaign that now can't be completed because of you fucks. You guys wanna hear like the big story?
Yes.
So
It was all a dream.
it was all a dream.
I quit. If it was all a dream, I quit.
A little bit of metagaming. When we set out for this campaign, I was very adamant in giving you an open world to enjoy, and that wherever you went, you would find like the big story. So, what I came up with is this. You got them dragons, right? You got them dragons. They are metallic and they're good, and they're chromatic and they're evil.
Yeah.
So I came up with a ancient event known as the First War, which was basically like a parallel to God versus Lucifer. Lucifer saying like we should guide humanity, like the chromatic dragons, the quote-unquote evil ones, saying like no, we should have an active role in guiding and ruling over the humanoid races. And the metallic dragons going like, nah man, we should take a seat back and freedom be law. And we have this world, so of course the metallic ones won. Those are known as the Big Five. Each metallic dragon has like one peak of their kind that has like a charge placed upon them by whatever, like the gods, the universe, to right. So to guide you, and you guys actually met one of them. Iroh met Ori.
Oh.
Ori being Orifolem, also known as the Ever Invited, which is basically like the bard of the Prime Quintillion, the Big Five dragons, which is basically there to spread joy and homeliness and like community and be a guard for that sort of virtue. Which is also why he just gifted you some chaotic things and gifted you a entire set to brew your own alcohol.
By the way, can you give the skull to Maxime? I feel it's appropriate.
But
It's heavier than I thought it was.
but
That's because it's real.
but what happened was like in the First War, you also had basically the five pinnacles of chromatic evil dragons. You had like the red one, which was a barbarian, which basically like encapsulated the virtue of go, dominate, kill shit, get loot. You know, you had the black one, which was the I should have.
Black one is poison, I think.
Yeah, no, but I have to take my notes. He was basically the executioner, and his class was, I think, rogue.
You have to continue, but now do it in a scum voice.
Yes.
Oh, how the fuck do you do a scum voice?
Like how did Alright, buddy.
Alright, so we had the blue one, which was the monk, and the monk was like the manipulator, which was a nice tie-in later to like high society and nobility and stuff. And you also had the green one, which was the warlock, which was basically the font of all illegal and bad powers to gift to all humanoid races. And next to that, and you also had the white one, which was basically humanoids should dominate all of the other races, which was basically like the ranger, but like with very bad stuff. And
like, I'm Buddy. Welcome to my TED Talk.
and so when I said out,
Buddy explains the universe.
Yeah.
so the big story was there was this one character known as the Harbinger who wanted to resurrect all of these five, like the anti-Big Five, who wanted to resurrect the anti-dragons to rule over all of society and be fucking awesome and stuff. And I had, for each one of these dragons, I had a sort of organization / guild, so that whatever you guys did, eventually you would wind up with one of them. For example, you had the blue dragon who, knowingly or unknowingly, you had the Azure Aristocracy, which was a shadow organization within the Empire, which basically worked towards resurrecting this one blue dragon, which was also tied into your backstory, Tarush, in the way that they also had a hand in your houses killing each other off. It wasn't just your people. it was also a ploy from the Azure.
I love it. You're allowed to stop.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
you were just going
Yeah, so
out
we
there
had that.
with a bad voice problem.
Yeah, we also had like the main quest line within Farwater was the Harbinger came by and spread knowledge of the Echoes of Power, which is basically the remnant sort of soul of the green warlock dragon that is basically infused with the entire material plane, which is still like trying to gift humanoids with like immense, unfathomable power. He was a warlock, which basically, like, this dragon was a warlock that made a pact with all of the gods to funnel power into, like, all of the evil gods to funnel power into, like, humanoid races. And for example, like, when we went to Torsica, there we would find the Lawbringers, which were a mercenary guild that were affiliated with the Executioner, the Black Bear.
Okay.
And you guys hunting the owlbears, the other hunting party, were a part of the Purifiers, a group of monster hunters which deep down are very much racist and are a part of this cult of the White Dragon.
Okay, so if
Is that why there were all these green dragon heads in the temple
Yes,
where we fought
yes.
Tablet?
Yeah, it was a temple to the I found a beautiful English word.
I
I-
don't
the-
green dragon
well,
eggs.
Confluence, I think what it was,
Uh,
which basically like
Teeth.
means like a fount of power. Like
Yeah.
he was the source of like illegal magic. Like because like he was a quote unquote evil dragon, but not an evil dragon in the way of like I'm going to fuck everything up. He was like, nah, man, you guys have the rights to all power, and you should deal with it how you see fit. I am not going to protect you against any of it. I have pacts with devils, demons, angels, all of them. I have all this power. You could just walk up to me, you can ask it, and you can have it. Go nuts. And then just like watch the chaos and the world rip itself apart. Like, fuck yeah.
Give
I
it
just
baby.
want to
Chaos,
say that
Mayhem, destruction. My work here is done.
I feel very justified now in wanting to kill the Purifiers.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Because like
Stop me from it. They were evil.
Like you guys like there was a story beat where you guys would have been assaulted by a white dragon while you were traveling on the airship, which would have been like a part of the Purifiers Guild. Because
White
deep
dragon.
down, if you go farther enough into this guild of monster hunters, you realize that it's actually a cult to this prime white dragon, and there is an entire like flight of white dragons still incorporated within this quote unquote guild, because they just want to dominate all of life.
Hot.
That sort of stuff. So it didn't matter where you guys went, like everywhere you would find that the Harbinger came by to influence that group of antagonists, and eventually it would all culminate into like at level 15 to 20 where you guys have to like, or perhaps like one of the 5 dragons get resurrected. If the Harbinger succeeds, all of them get resurrected, and you have to basically fight off with them. I had like lines out where you would eventually like meet not only Orifolem but the rest of the big 5, as they begin to realize like, yo, our antagonists are slowly but surely getting resurrected, or some plan is at bay for that. That sort of stuff.
More importantly,
who or
though.
what was the Harbinger?
The Harbinger was just a guy. The Harbinger was the Harbinger.
Just a guy.
Yeah, the
Fucking
Harbinger.
hate that.
The Harbinger was an elf because he needed to be very long-lived, and he like the first war is a event within the world that is of mythic proportions. Nobody knows exactly when it went on. Like, I don't know when it went on. I don't know the scopes of it. It is like, it predates history. It is at the moment where the gods still walk the earth, basically. And somehow the Harbinger found like the very, very deep buried knowledge that, oh my god, we have the big 5. There were also these adversaries that in some way, shape, or form can be brought back. If I bring back these gigantic individuals, they will owe me a hell of favors. That was basically the whole gist of it. And he was just a guy way out of his depth.
Nice.
But
But
would I have killed my father?
You tell
Would
me.
you have given me the opportunity
You tell me.
to kill my
Like you had the confluence of power, the green dragon, which was the warlock to everything. But that dragon also made a pact with every archduke of hell, including your mama.
Your mama.
So that would also eventually bring back to it. For example, the green dragon created the infinite library, which you found nuggets of, which is literally a infinite library which contains all knowledge known to the multiverse, where it is not a question of will you find it, but how will you find knowledge in this infinite library, and how will you take it out of it and not like wander the halls indefinitely. Like there you could find the knowledge, who you are, who your mother is, the pact that your mother and this dragon made, like everything.
Okay, that brings me to question number 2. Did the Harbinger send the end to me?
No, that was part of your mom.
That was my mom?
Yeah. So next to this plot, I wanted each character of you to have a very tangible, both in storytelling but also in like gameplay elements tied to your backstory. So, for example, for Jack, it was really easy with necromancy. I'm going to give you necromancy gifts. For you, it was your heritage. Like, I'm going to give you imp, and as much as you are going to engage with imp, that is basically your portal towards your mama and your devilish heritage and the powers that come from that. Like in Torsica, I could like of course Holly was the first tied to your backstory, but from there on, you could envelop more powers to basically rid yourself of this curse and go on with that. Jarush, of course, had his noble heritage and like the connections that he could lay out, and then like his work within the Cerulean circle, all that sort of stuff. And Olam, you were a blank slate.
Yeah.
So what
Literally.
so what I did is like, okay, cool, that is it. That's what it's going to be. Olam is a blank slate, and vast, immense, eldritch powers can try to influence you. Like when
let's all go evil.
well, not evil, just unfathomable. Like you were created outside of the norm of life and death. You are a
Abomination!
well,
Inception to the fucking
you should
rule.
not exist. You should not exist in this way, shape, or form. You are outside of the curve of life and death. So that is a conduit. That is a conduit who Saloon can influence and try to make you a champion of her, but also a gateway to far outside dark eldritch horrors and the like that may try to influence you. Like
But what's dark?
Sh is elemental. Like sh is emotion, passion, and extravagance, I guess.
Like not so much what it is, but what you do with it.
Yeah.
Like
Probably
in
better fit than Saloon was.
well, you have like the whole and I was thinking like, okay, cool. Like there are going to be you are a blank slate. When you watch a horror movie and you try to summon a spirit, a thing that always happens is like, oh, you don't really summon one particular spirit. You open the door and now all spirits can, you know? And that was basically the thing that I saw for Olam. Like, you are just a vessel that can be influenced by outside force because you're an oracle. That's your whole deal as your class as well. So there are going to be a lot of suitors.
Well,
and it's up
was
to you what you
kinda-
want to do.
I kind of wanted to catch them all.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, okay, we found Ash.
Okay, so Crystal has to dab like a 63-year-old white man who thinks he's hip.
No, that's too good. That's too good. Like a 63, there would be like a dab like this. Like this.
Yeah.
Understanding what he needs to do.
Double high Hitler.
I'll do it pretty well because the essence is looking forward to see if you're doing it well. You're not looking at yourself. You need the reaction of the people to know if you are doing it well.
Oh my goodness, it's good.
But
Yeah, I've been talking for long now. Do you guys have any questions?
who? Who sent imp?
Who sent imp?
Your mama.
Your mama.
It was my like.
It was your mama.
The benefactor was my mama.
Mhm.
Like straight down.
Yep.
There were no middlemen.
I mean, look, Of course there were middlemen. There were a lot of middlemen. Your mama is the Archduke of the first layer of hell known as Avernus.
Go find my child and make it do stuff.
But the order came from her.
I should have spent more time with him.
Yeah.
But he was inside not so many conflicting feelings.
I mean, your mama also had like your mama had a design for you. Like eventually she wanted to, like, we just heard the word like groom you to be a combatant against the forces of the abyss, against demonkind, because that's her whole deal. Like she is.
Dude,
I'm trying.
Like
not hard enough.
Someone
paid for
some people raise families like for their kids. She is raising a family to fight the inevitable.
She's not raising a family. She's raising an army. Yeah, cool. That does work into my ideas of maybe
She's
going
the
into
Archduke
America
of
to
the-
heal people.
But you would be like no. Let's make one thing for show. Like all of you are motherfucking heroes. Like you are champions, right? Like
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of the world, I have this concept known as potential. Like all of the gods came together and wait, what?
I don't know. Crystal is
One
sharing
of my
her notes.
questions that Olam wrote down was, do I like Tarouche? Is he
No.
good? No.
No.
Is it- no.
No.
What is bad and what is worth fighting for? Edge.
Yeah, but
Edge is worth fighting for.
you're already on my people that I like.
Flying ships? What? Is this normal? What do others do at party? Question mark. You take off clothes at end of party. Why can't you show skin at party? What is fancy party end? Is
Oh yeah.
there other kind
Was
of
it
party?
Edge who convinced Olam that you should get naked in public at the end of a party?
No.
That was me not wanting to wear dresses.
Olan came to me with the idea of just taking off the dress at the party, and I was like, well, at least wait until the end of the party, and I'll do
Right.
it with you.
Right.
Just like Edge was encouraging the impulse, but not so much as to like show up naked at the party, because Edge knew that things would happen
Still a cat,
and
though.
punches would have to land.
Edge's mom is the Archduke of the first.
Yeah, the first layer. Okay,
So that's
in-
the most outer layer. then.
Yeah, so basically,
It's like an
My mom was the president
so-
of hell, bitch.
so in Forgotten
Hell
Realms.
is like an onion, but also infinite hits.
No, that's the abyss. The abyss is an infinite pit.
Oh,
Hell, you have 9 layers of hell. No, but in the Forgotten Realms lore, you basically have the 2 flavors of evil that are keeping each other in check. You have the demons from chaotic evil, and you have the devils from lawful evil. And they are in a perpetual conflict known as the Blood War, killing each other off. And the whole reason why, like the abyss, where demons come from, is infinite. And the whole reason why devils want to like contract your souls is because they need fucking manpower down there to battle the other type of evil. And Zariel was an angel of the heavens that looked down there and was like, man, those demons are a big problem. We can't just like sit here and be high and mighty. We need to go down there and get our hands dirty. And that's what she did. And then she came to the first layer of hell, because that's the outer layer. That is the place where the river Styx runs around, which also goes towards the abyss. So basically the demons sort of like pour through the river Styx into the hells. And then the first layer of hell, Avernus, is like the
front lines?
Yeah, the front lines where all of the combating happens. And Zariel is there like leading the troops.
Okay.
Were there NPCs from previous like things that we could have run into? This
Of course, like the nice thing about like creating a world and then playing there, and like a lot of the NPCs that you guys encountered in Farwater already existed before you guys and I started the previous campaign. Like Farwater already existed in a very, very much more rough form than it does now. But like Zorel, for example, Zorel was there. Like he was already there. But like, were there any NPCs? We played in a different part of the world, so not a lot of NPCs that you guys knew.
Are you
Well-
ever gonna bring back Acadius?
No, he died.
I don't know.
Shut up! No, I cried about that. He's dead.
That's-
Oh man, ugly crap.
during
Yeah,
the
that's-
stream. Like, snot out of my nose, just my face in a fucking towel, because I knew tissues weren't gonna
Wait,
help.
really? My
Yeah.
character?
Yeah.
Oh.
I loved Acadius so much.
We had a thing.
There was a thing. There was a thing going on.
You guys, well, I can tell you this much. Like, you had the like the Port of Shadows in the previous campaign, like with the Crescent King, which you almost punched as your previous.
I
character.
tried to really
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
I tried to hit him so badly, and I used the hero point, and I got a crit, and then I still missed.
Yep. You wanna hear a good ploy on that? The Crescent King is evil as fuck. He is actually a demon lord that escaped the abyss and is now perpetrating being like some guy in the Shadowfell. But he's actually a demon lord of whatchamacallit? Fuck, I can't find the word. I want to say feeding. I want to say basically he's a
Gluttony?
vampiric
Need
demon
to.
lord
Mm.
of leeching. Thank you, leeching. Yeah, he's a demon lord of leeching, who eventually got there and was like, ooh, I can make a lot of money.
Speaking of old campaigns, I have something for you, of course, that you can keep, which is
Oh, the old art.
the
Oh
old
my
art
god!
that we have made when we first started a Tale of Dice. Of course, I don't know what we want to do with it, but I figured it might be interesting to keep.
I remember these
We can
headshots.
leave it as a set, or we can.
Can we perhaps
Rip this in half. Can I light it on fire?
burn this one?
Can I?
No.
I mean, it's.
Not yet.
I feel like it's an
Pretty
insult to the actual artist who
Yeah.
put a lot of effort
Yeah,
into it.
fair.
We love her.
Fuck this character though, and the person who played it. You're the reason Edge hates elves.
Yeah, I remember. Like you told me when we started, it's like Edge. I'm gonna make up a reason for Edge to hate
No,
elves
no, 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 no.
because of this.
Edge started out as an NPC, and they already hated elves.
just
So Max wouldn't get a fucking word in.
Oh.
That was 100% the reason.
Let's not bash Max.
So how
This
about
is the most I've ever bashed him on screen.
No,
But
but let's
when-
not do
when-
it on stream.
when Edge became a character more than an NPC, I dove a little bit deeper into that. Where does the hatred for elves really come
Yeah,
from? Other
fair.
than the fact of fuck this one character in particular.
And finally, of course, the MVP.
The horse.
Recall can kill all. I still have a drawing of
You died,
Recall at home that I made for you, like an 8-bit Recall.
Oh
I
my
can-
god.
I can give it to you.
At the end, did you kind of died because we had to leave you,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, no, Recall died.
Recall was the first.
Recall
thing.
died.
Yeah, definitely died.
Recall died, then Acadius came, and then Tarush came
No,
for like 2
no.
sessions.
When Acadius came, Grogol was still alive because he was on a mission of himself.
Yeah, that's true.
He came back.
He
as
got
himself,
vampirism.
and then we got like attacked by devils. I want
Yep.
to say
Oh
devils,
man,
right?
you had
And
2
then-
contracts out on you.
Then Grogol died.
Wow.
I just
I wanted
remember.
to save him, but they didn't let me.
I was physically nauseous during that session where I was like, no,
Was it
no,
good? Was it good
no.
session, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was my literal favorite character. The fuck is happening right
Hannah
now?
was your favorite?
No. No.
Grakal
Hannah grew on me though. Like,
was such an interesting archetype.
to be fair,
was
to
good.
explain, I was dating Charlie at that moment. When the dating stopped, Hannah grew.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're all a bunch of perverts.
Yeah.
Me included. Me
Yeah.
included.
Hey, I made up fucking shirts for all y'all except for
Mm. No, but Garkal's archetype was actually very interesting because he started off with the whole Conan the Barbarian. You know, it was very simple. Barbarian who doesn't know civilization, like so easy, so
Yeah,
standard,
dumb barbarian trope.
so
Yeah.
lovable.
Smash.
And yeah, and every like how many times has Critical Role reiterated this? How many times has every movie, every group situation reiterated the archetype of we need a big, strong, dumb character, right? And I was so happy to put that extreme religious aspect in there too. That was just violent and incapable of, like, he was way more violent than Tarush and bloodthirsty and murder hobo. Like, he wanted to kill everything and everyone that seemed remotely not good in the way that
If
he
Gricol
wanted it to
couldn't
be.
murder a problem, he couldn't solve it.
I also loved like the contrast that Gricol being this tribalistic, zealous warrior coming to the big city, finding the most advanced weaponry and just going, cool, this kills. and then going on with like this high-tech weaponry and just still
Using it as a club.
but not like being totally okay with it because like this kills stuff.
Yeah.
I am here to kill stuff. This kills stuff. I'm good.
Yeah, he had no qualms. Like, it was, if he knew the word efficiency, it would be his thing.
Also a thing of when back when Edge was still an NPC, I was asked by the DM to write up some reactions they would have with the current party.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Allison is clear by now. Hannah would have been like, you have a panther who listens to you. That's really fucking interesting. And therefore you are interesting. Ira would have been like, you're very small, but you can beat up people 3 times your size. That is also incredibly interesting, and we will talk about that. But Gricol would have been 100%, which is why I put the thing in my backstory. We should have sex. Our offspring would be glorious. Is probably still in the document somewhere.
I think we still have it buried somewhere.
Pretty sure that's literally like Edge would 100% fuck Recall just to have amazing offspring.
Skilled babies.
Yeah.
Skilled and scaled.
Scaled and skilled, yeah.
But my favorite thing, one of my favorites, I don't know why, but one of my favorite sentences as Recall was like, I think he was like comforting Hannah on something. And it's like, you know, it's okay to fight and it's okay to be angry and let yourself know, but remember, I am the alpha male.
Alpha male is bullshit. The person who wrote that thing like redacted it 3 days later because it's an observation of different kinds of packs in a zoo environment.
Yeah.
And not natural.
Hey, our chat is full of social justice warriors.
That's fair. I don't need to explain this to you. You know this. The alpha male theory is bullshit.
As Vincent already pointed out to me, we have a bunch of requests.
Oh, we got Be Silly.
So, well...
Stop working!
Vincent, you first. Tell us Crowan's greatest secret, which now becomes canon.
Okay. You guys remember the dance called the torso?
Oh, yeah!
You remember the dance called the torso?
Yeah.
Well, it's not actually the Torsica dance, it's just a dance Crowan invented and tries to make it cool.
That's not his biggest secret. Everybody knew that was
But
happening.
the other secret is that he killed someone, but now it's revealed.
That dance was like, Edge was like, yeah, sure, no, that's a dance from Torsica. Mm-hmm.
I
had
did
no
not.
clue.
No, I did not get that.
Did you?
That is amazing. That is amazing.
We have other things?
Well, basically it's the same question for all of the others as well. So, Maxime first.
I still have to figure something.
No, but Jack.
I think Abe will probably have an answer ready. Crystal
I'm
put
going
excess
for-
stuff.
Olam knew a lot of words, but just didn't want to know them.
War? I don't like this word.
Yeah, no.
Done.
Just ignoring everything
Nothing
you
new.
say and just pretend I didn't know what you said.
What is talking?
Just like the
the
Chandler, like, didn't happen. Edge's biggest secret is that they come from money.
Yeah.
From money.
That they come from money and they are incredibly ashamed of it and angry about it and has a lot of feelings about it.
Nice. Tarush was pansexual and aromantic. He would at all points be completely incapable of feeling a form of actual romance. That was something I planned for him.
That would
But,
have
like,
been
not-
so perfect for Edge, though. Just like fuck buddies.
Yeah, but like he, like you saw with what's her face,
Lyra.
Lyra.
What's her face? She was the character.
No,
An
no, no.
established
No,
character.
but this is canon because.
Yeah, no, like what's her face?
No, but you guys were tools for each other.
Yeah, and we knew it.
Yeah.
We were perfect for each
And
other
then
because
we're-
we knew
well-
we were just using.
Did you have sex though? Did you
Yeah.
have sex?
I think it was heavily implied.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wasn't confirmed
I can't
yet, but yeah.
remember.
And
And it felt like a victory to the both of you. Like that was but that was how it worked. Like both of you were using the other as a tool to your own benefit.
I'm sorry.
And this was like a sort of check mark, like, okay, cool, this is working.
No,
It's
just
working.
as soon as you
No.
said victory, I just imagined Tarouche like halfway through climax. I win!
precipitation.
10 points to Gryffindor!
Both of you were
No, wait,
moaning your
Tarouche
own
would be a
names.
Ravenclaw. Never mind.
Both of you were moaning your own
Yes.
names.
Yeah, I said if Edge had been drunk enough, they might have joined you.
Yeah, would that,
Terrell was so busy that night. It was annoying.
Wait, sorry, Crowan.
would Croy even have seen Sarah again, or was it just a one-off thing?
All depends on you, man.
Yeah.
I really like to roll with the punches of my players. If you want to go look Sarah back up and like invest yourself more into the relationship, then hell yeah.
Wait, did you guys have sex? Or were just went home?
You know they had sex. He,
Yeah.
I think he put like a sock on the door and
Oh,
everything.
right.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Because he shared a room with 2 other people.
Yeah,
Fuck those
no.
people. I'm having sex. There's a sock on the door. Find a different place to sleep.
No way.
Wait, wait, wait.
Don't get a private room for yourself or anything. No, let's have sex in the room that I share with 2 other people.
Hey, you were missing something. Did Crone have sex with the cat?
Yeah, it was while you were having sex with Lyra after the big party.
During the Lord's festivities,
Yeah.
Crowan found like one of the Silver Sentinels and took her home.
Yeah.
It was like a fight to find someone.
I
It
totally
was.
missed all of this.
That's because Tarouche is only thinking about Tarouche. You're literally only thinking about maybe bagging Lyra again. that
Okay,
night.
so this
What
proves
do we
I'm a
mean?
great method actor. Pay attention.
Oh no, that's right. No, wait, that's right.
You took me home.
Tarouche was actually a good guy.
Yeah, you took me home.
Oh.
She
All
was
right.
naked and bombed.
And I was feeling it hard.
Let me.
I think that might have
So
been
was
one of
Edge,
the
but
rare
Edge turned it into
instances
sex.
where Tarouche had a decent moral compass.
Yeah, it's like
Like
she's
it
very
was not
drunk
out
and
of
vulnerable.
manipulation, personal gain. It was out of pity.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, I gotta help this chick.
All right, so we have 15 minutes left for today.
I
So let me.
still have a few.
Yeah.
The first off is I figured Jack would be. I was thinking about Jack being asexual. I wasn't really sure about Jet. My last character, I tried to look asexual, like he wasn't interested, but that was because he was gay and he had a relationship with his friend.
I knew it!
Yeah. So he always portrayed it as he's just my best friend, but best friend also meant a little bit more. Part 2 is Jack never fought an owlbear. Because what is the best way to get rid of a bunch of zombies? You make them attack the biggest animals in the woods surrounding your village, because that way, if they die, it doesn't really matter. And you might get a few hits on that animal, and then it'll be a little less
Soften it
strong.
up, yeah.
Yeah.
The rest can get it if need be.
Yeah, just hit point bombs.
Yeah,
Just
so-
lower it. Yeah.
Actually, I have no clue how to fight it. I've heard about it, and of course, people have fought it.
The irony of Jack being like scared shitless of the story of a flying owlbear, only to encounter the teleporting owlbear.
Yeah.
And then flying because
Flying will technically fly.
I just want to spend some time on this. I mean, we've laughed about it, we've joked about it, we've cried about it, but I feel like it's still necessary to just put a bit of a spotlight on it once more. where Wouter explained the entire concept of it. He was like, be careful of what you say next. The literal words that you utter will go into effect as a wish. Say nothing until you know for sure what you're gonna wish. And Crystal goes,
What does Crystal do?
I just want to think with the owler. I mean, so in character though. It's like
It worked out perfectly. It was all planned.
I mean, it worked fine the first time we got the wish. She got the hint that I should shut up right now. And the second time she got completion and thought, let's go.
I also have to say, Wouter told it beautifully. Like a ship all of a sudden making a little dip and such.
Oh, fuck.
I really felt that one.
Yeah, you know what? Let's end with that. Like we have a couple of minutes left. Like best moments
Best moment.
of the last couple of years.
the bathtub with a lot. That was a very, very good moment. I really enjoyed that. We were so open and honest and vulnerable.
My best moment is I think from the last campaign when I stole an army.
Yeah.
Still really enjoy
Yeah.
that one.
so one more time.
When we stole an army. And we kind of bluffed ourselves through telling them, no, we're from this guy that is coming, and he said that we need an army.
I literally remember watching that. Hang on. Like this.
Is he doing it?
It was so weird. And
Is he
Nicole
doing-
was so
they
like,
believe him?
uncomfortable with the situation.
That's how you do yes and. Like I guess you guys are stealing an army. Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go.
Roll a charisma check. Yeah.
Okay,
See
so-
if this person believes you.
Two things for me. Number one is I mentioned it before, the fight between Edge and Crowan. That was so beautiful. Like when after Edge fucked up Tarush and
Yeah.
Crowan got like I even kind
No,
of
I hear fight. I think, and I was like, I never punched Crowan, but yeah, no, him telling me off.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other one was just so perfect. We had just killed Grikal's nemesis, the Maddox, and we were on the airship, and like this thing was crashing because we killed the pilot, and we were going down. Everything was exploding. Things were going wrong, and everyone, the rest of the party, got in so much trouble as we were falling down. But I rolled a nat 20. And basically, what kind of happened was, but before I rolled, I said, well, Gricol just stands in the middle and cheers.
Yeah.
And then I rolled a 20, and basically what happens is everything is destroyed. Everyone is fucked up and hurt from the fall. But Gricol ends up just...
You're not holding your microphone.
Oh, but they can hear me.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. And Gricol just ends up surfing down on the last remnant of the ship, still cheering. Everything is destroyed around him, but he's just like, true story. James Gunn, he based Drax the Destroyer from Guardians of the Galaxy based
On Gricol. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
That's how it works.
We'll live down that cannon. I will die on that hill. 100%. Yeah.
Vincent.
I
Yeah.
think the
Best moments.
best moment was always the next session for me. But
Oh my god! No, let's feel these feelings. Let's not be toxic white men about it, and let's just feel that
But it's
tinge
my
of like.
You're the only one doing that, Abe.
I think what I really liked, a session I really
It's
liked.
like I thought that this would be a nice closure, but all this session has done is made me want to keep playing, and it hurts.
Welcome in my life.
But if I have to reminisce, I think one of the best moments, or the best session, I think, was when we, after so much preparation, we went to infiltrate the castle with the lieutenant, I think it was, and everything went to shit from
Yeah,
the
tits up.
beginning.
Immediately.
I was like, no killing! Tarush, what does he do? That's the first guy he sees. I have to pick him up from the water.
Have you ever seen Peaky Blinders?
Yeah.
Like when he gets married, no fighting, no fighting, no fighting, and then it's like 3 seconds later, Tarush, he died. He was just like standing here and he died. I'm sorry.
That's
I
always.
could push him. I see a man
There
whose back is turned to me. He's at the
There
edge
was
of the
no
water.
reason to kill him. You could have incapacitated him in so many ways, but you chose to kill
That
him.
wasn't even the first fuck up. The first fuck up was
The boat.
Tarush Charlie misunderstanding the situation, telling me to do something. I was like, what? Okay, guess I'll lie, even though it's not my thing.
In my 8 years, no, almost no, 10 years, 10 years of DMing, I have had so many moments that I feel like a parent listening to their child rambling off stupid shit, and every time it happens, it's like people,
Yes, dear.
not in this party, but in every party, like trying to make up plans, and you're always listening to it. I know for a fact that none of this is going to survive contact with the enemy.
Yeah, that was like that was like when
it's so sweet that you guys are trying to make up plans, and I understand that you guys need like 1.5 hours to figure out what you are going to do. But I know for a fact that you are not going to do any of it.
It's like when Crowan and Jack were like trying to plan out the whole owlbear attack, like the whole time in my head / edge in my head was kind of like, yeah, or they could fall out of the fucking sky and squash us into jelly and we'll be dead. Or you think like, okay, so they're gonna come in from that side and we're gonna throw smoke bombs at them, but what if they come from that side? Like, you can't plan an attack like this more than like if this happens. Do, like,
And growing
a little
adamant
bit of
on
tactics.
climbing into a tree.
And they
to
talk-
crossbow
They talked about it for 30 freaking minutes where I was like,
Guys.
They're bears. They charge at you and they try to bite.
yeah,
White plan.
big thing, try bite you, you fight back. End of story. That's
You wanted
that's
the
all I
Leroy
needed.
Jenkins the thing. It would have gone bad.
I would have not Leroy Jenkins the thing because we were trying to set them up, but the two of you were like, okay, and then when they come from the left, we can throw a smoke ball at them. And I was just sitting there thinking,
So Maxime, what is your favorite moment of all these years?
killing me.
Not like I said, the stealing an army was.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So Crystal.
Well, I have kind of three things.
It has to be the Melora thing with the leaf.
And let her talk.
Okay, so one of them is Gorkal and Hannah. And Hannah getting a last name. Because Hannah didn't have any family or whatever, and then she was
I
having.
forgot about that. Now my heart is like,
I know.
Yeah.
It's still one of my favorites. The second is the bad thing, because it's kind of the same thing with Hannah getting a last name, is Olam having the feeling of having family apart from Saloon.
we're not turtles. Though.
And the third is like a general thing of like me getting to connect with gods. Because Hannah had this thing with
Melora.
Melora, thank you. And Olam had this thing with Saloon. But and Shh, I guess. But yeah, they're all always like very emotional
Yeah,
stuff
like-
for me, and I can't get out of
I have
that.
to say,
but I
every
just
time-
keep crying.
Every time that Crystal's characters have had connections with gods, it always felt really sweet and really intimate.
Innocent.
Yeah.
The Saloon was different than Melora.
Yeah, we never
Melora
got.
always was like a crying thing. Oh my god, I don't know what to do. I do love you, but I'm not sure.
Oh
what
my
to
god,
do."
that
never-
first time with Melora, like I did the ghost image thing with the leaf that fell into the water. I was ugly crying through the whole fucking thing.
But we never really got into the stuff with Saloon because only after that we now stopped has the veil over Saloon lifted.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Bummer.
I always wanted to connect with her more,
Yeah.
but I didn't get the chance.
Okay.
No.
It's so sad.
Well,
Sorry, just this reminds me of another question because whenever I tried to meditate with the icosahedron, you had me perform a perception check or a religion check. What would have happened had I succeeded them?
like as Edge trying to peer into the artifact, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you would have. Okay, so
Because
Of course.
I did get a feeling of like pure chaotic energy.
Can we
from
bench
it.
that until we get Vincent's favorite moment?
Well, you did.
Or maybe.
well, Bouter's favorite moment then, I guess.
Bart was
Fair.
still
Which
saying
to
something.
yeah to like tie into with what you said. My favorite moment was there are a couple of things that Wouters likes. Wouters likes silly voices. Wouters likes giving speeches. And Wouter likes the moment that everything slows down a little bit. So my favorite moment was spouting straight ancient wisdom as a treant towards Hannah.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost forgot about that.
And then because the treant spoke very slowly, I had a lot of time to pick my words carefully, which was very good. And I was very happy with how it panned out eventually.
Did you have a moment when you felt, this was a great word I just thought of? I have that when I make speeches sometimes. I just stop for a moment. This was a great phrase. It was a great sentence. Oh, should I have the rest of the speech?
We have just a little bit of a boner with how awesome you
Like,
are. Yeah.
At that time, we were playing digitally. I was jacking off the entire rocking.
You were not. I was paying attention.
Wait. You too?
You freak.
What do you think I was doing underneath that friggin' blanket?
Wait. So the entirety of our digital play during Corona was just masturbation. Well,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
so you
That's
guys
why I need
wanna
Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do more deep after the cameras turn off. But
Charlie,
what would have
I'm a
happened?
dungeon master in multiple.
What would have happened had I succeeded?
Well, so the artifact, of course, is a way to break the fourth wall and to get our viewers involved and the likes. But it needs to be logical for all of you to carry it with you. So you would have realized some maybe sinister, maybe not so sinister things, that this is way more than just a nice little artifact that Nito created, but is actually a portal to a very primal force that influences all around it. But that is also sort of important. Like, I have a group of artifacts in the world that go beyond the like definition of like just a thing, but who also encapsulate certain aspects of the world. So I learned this from Matt Colville, who eventually created magic. Yeah, he's a good guy. Who eventually created an item, which basically is the item that. No, let me tell you something. I have an item in the world which is known as the Crystal Tune, which is basically a magic item that says that diamonds are used for resurrection rituals. The Crystal Tune is the item that works as the concept of being able to funnel from the outer planes into the inner planes, life and death. So when you die, every soul technically goes through this item/concept known as the Crystal Tune to turn into the afterlife. And having that item card says you can use diamonds to bring souls back from the dead, for that sort of stuff. And I really love playing with those sorts of very vague, very out there, very deep concepts for items. And this was one of them. Like, the artifact is one of these fundamental laws of the universe that brings change and chaos into it. And if you would have gotten your checks right, you would eventually have realized something that Nito didn't even realize. And that is that he had tapped into something so primal and so powerful that it could be used for other different things.
And that power was friendship.
And the power was friendship. Like,
and Nito was
Hashtag-
Einstein. And everyone
All
clapped.
hail the fartifact.
I'll let the fuck back.
Let's not forget how it started with farts
With parts. Yeah.
and dick bugs.
I just really want to say, Wouter, thank you for
Yeah.
this experience, for like Hannah and Olam. It's really just
Here.
Thank you for
Yeah.
letting me play Edge. That was like a thing, like I made them way too cool to get to like let you do that, and me just sitting there thinking, that's not how I would have
Thank you all for indulging me with this story that I tried to tell that you guys kept interrupting me for.
It's like, is it possible to continue this thing with just Crow and Edge? Because I want to keep
We still need to hear Crowan's favorite thing about
No, I think
Well, something-
did you Could you show us?
Yeah. It was the bathtub with the
Oh, yeah,
lava.
true.
I thought there was someone else who. No, we actually.
Charlie, did you do it?
Yeah, it was the...
Charlie has always done it. Charlie is a whore.
Charlie has spoken.
Charlie does everything.
Love you, babe.
You exist, therefore you are done.
Nice.
And at this moment, I do believe that it is 10:03 right now. So yeah. Any final things to say? Any final questions that need answering? Any tears left unshed?
I would like to tell you all who have been watching us, even though there's not that many of you now, but everybody who's been watching us for the past month, years before I was a part of this, thank you so much. You have been such a big part of what we've been doing here. We 100% always keep an eye on you in the chat when we're playing, and this is one of the funnest tabletop RPGs that I've been a part of because you guys can influence the shit. The wild magic's been amazing, the ghost images has been amazing, everything has been so much fun. It really feels like there's more than just 6 people sitting around this table. And
But if you guys had paid us more money, we would have continued.
that's not
True. It's very much true. Yes.
That's not and yes true at the same time. It's just like, yeah, no, if we charge subscriptions for like $200 a month, and yeah, we could have easily kept
Yeah.
playing.
Here's to tabletop RPGs and making stories.
And capitalism.
No.
No, not
I
capitalism.
want
Just
to say just one thing. We are going to share our backgrounds on Discord, so go on there. Make sure that you subscribe if you want to join an awesome stream DM'd by Wouter possibly in the future.
yeah, just type exclamation mark Discord in the chat, and it'll give you all the things.
And it's also on our Instagram still, on our tree link. Is that what it's
Link
called?
tree.
Link tree.
Tree link.
So close. I'm like 50.
Close
I don't
enough.
care.
No.
Close enough. She's been working with old people.
Yeah, they rub off on me. I have dementia. Basically.
But for now then, I'm going to say it for the last time, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy the last 2 hours of your weekend. And we'll never see you again.
It's fine.
How? Cheers. I have fucking 2 more game groups next to this one. I'll be fine.
We won't be.
We'll die.